From the department at Hudson's, bringing you coverage of the Detroit Regional Chamber's 2026 Detroit Policy Conference. This is All Talk with Kevin Dietz on 760 WJR. Here's Kevin.
Good Thursday morning. Welcome to All Talk. We are live at the Detroit Policy Conference inside the department at Hudson's in downtown Detroit. As I look around this room, I can tell you this is what momentum looks like. This isn't just another conference. This isn't name badges and panel talk and polite applause. This is Michigan deciding out loud what it wants to be next, because policy only matters if it produces progress. And progress only happens when the right people show up in the same room. Stop talking past each other and start pulling in the same direction. That's what this conference does better than almost anything else in the entire state. Business leaders, labor leaders, educators, healthcare executives, philanthropy, startups, city leaders, state leaders, federal players. Not on Zoom, they're all here together in person. And the timing could not be more important. Detroit has a new mayor writing the next chapter of this great city, deciding what growth looks like, what accountability looks like, what opportunity looks like for the next generation. And next year, Michigan will have a new governor, which means the playbook is being written right now, not later, not after the election, right now. If you want to shape what comes next, this is where you come to do it. Michigan is at an inflection point. We are rebuilding infrastructure at a scale we haven't seen in decades. We are redefining how healthcare meets communities. We are reshaping mobility, trade, innovation, and talent pipelines. We're asking hard questions about education, workforce, equity, housing, and affordability. And we're doing it in a moment when the country is polarized, cynical, and downright angry. But this room is focused, and that matters. This conference isn't about red versus blue. It's about forward versus stuck. It's about recognizing that Michigan's biggest competitive advantage has always been its people. Builders, thinkers, fixers, doers, and deciding whether we're going to give them the tools, the policies, and the leadership that we all need to win. What comes out of this conference isn't always flashy. It's more about relationships. It deals that start as conversation. It's policy ideas that get stress tested before they ever hit a bill draft. It's leaders hearing things they don't always like but need to hear. And that's how progress actually happens. Detroit knows what it looks like to be written off. Michigan knows what it feels like when the national narrative moves on without you. That's why moments like this matter so much, because they're about owning our story instead of reacting to someone else's. With a new mayor and a new governor coming in, this is not the time for silos. This is not the time for turf wars. This is not the time for small thinking. This is the time to say, what does success look like 10 years from now? And what do we have to do together to get there? That's what the Detroit Policy Conference represents. It's confidence, it's ambition, it's optimism, grounded in reality. And if you care about Michigan, about jobs, about neighborhoods, about kids staying here instead of leaving our state, if you care about being competitive in a global economy, then this isn't just another stop on the calendar. This is a statement. Detroit is not waiting, Michigan is not shrinking, and the future is not something that just happens to us. It's something that we build starting right now, right here. Marie Osborne is with us following all of the top stories and joins us now with the news. Good morning, Marie.
And good morning, Kevin. Let's start with the deep freeze. It's continuing, posing some difficult driving this morning and certainly difficulties for kids who are waiting for school buses. It's also posing some serious problems for water and sewage workers across the area as they work overtime to prepare water main breaks and repair them. Sterling Heights reported one water main break yesterday. It left about 36 homes without power. City of Detroit dealing with multiple problems. Some 60 water line breaks have been reported, and crews are working 10 to 12-hour shifts to get them fixed. Their job won't be getting any easier in the coming days. We're looking at wind chill factors of 15 to 20 degrees below zero that are in the forecast for at least the rest of this week.
An Ingham County judge has dismissed the civil lawsuit filed by Brenda Tracy against former Michigan State football coach Mel Tucker. The judge ruled the court lacked jurisdiction because the alleged conduct occurred outside the state of Michigan. Tracy had accused Tucker of sexual harassment during phone calls while he was employed by Michigan State University. The dismissal does not rule on the merits of the allegations themselves. Tucker was fired by Michigan State in 2023 following a university investigation. Tracy has said she plans to continue pursuing accountability through other legal options. MSU officials declined further comment following the ruling.
The homeless mother of 2 children who died in February of last year in their parked van in a parking garage at Greektown Casino will not be facing any charges. It was first thought that they had froze to death, but an autopsy revealed the cause of death was carbon monoxide poisoning. The van had been running all night long. The family was homeless. The mother, her 4 children, and a grandmother had been rotating between the three Detroit casino parking structures at night to get out of the cold. Again, she will not be facing any charges.
A mechanical issue forced a brief closure at Detroit Metro Airport, leading to delays for thousands of travelers. Airport officials say the problem involved critical equipment needed for safe operations. Flights were temporarily halted while crews worked to fix the issue. Normal operations resumed shortly afterward, but delays rippled throughout the schedule. Some passengers experienced misconnections and extended wait times. Officials stress safety was never compromised. The incident comes as air travel continues to face infrastructural and staffing challenges nationwide.
Newly surfaced videos about the death of 37-year-old Alex Preddy, the Minneapolis intensive care nurse who was shot and killed by federal immigration officers earlier this month. The videos, recorded 11 days before the fatal shooting, show Preddy in a confrontation with federal immigration agents during a Minneapolis protest. And in the footage, Preddy kicks out the taillight of an agent's vehicle before officers forcibly take him to the ground. His coat comes off in this scuffle, and as he runs away, what appears to be a handgun is visible in the waistband. The video does not show him reaching for that weapon. Not clear if the officers on the scene saw it. Now, a person familiar with the incident confirmed to the Associated Press that it was Preddy in the video. The family of Preddy, however, is saying that this earlier altercation in no way justifies the shooting that happened a week later, calling Preddy's death an unjustified act by federal officers.
Stellantis has introduced an AI-powered inventory robot capable of scanning and sorting massive warehouses at high speed. The Doxury system uses sensors and artificial intelligence to track inventory in real time. Company officials say the technology reduces errors and boosts efficiency. The robot can scan items up to 40 feet high while operating autonomously. Stellantis calls it a major leap in logistics and supply chain management. The move reflects automakers' push towards automation beyond vehicle production. Industry analysts say similar systems could become standard across manufacturing. I don't know, Maria, do you think AI is taking over? It seems every day we have another story about companies that are letting people go and AI that is advancing rapidly.
They keep telling us that as long as we learn how to use AI, humans will still be needed in this equation. I just read an article this morning about AI replacing teachers in the classroom. I don't know. Is that where we're headed?
Boy, I don't know. We'll see. We are live from the Detroit Policy Conference inside the department at Hudson's in downtown Detroit. What a beautiful location. You can learn all about the conference by going to chamber.com/DPC. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. It's All Talk. I'm Kevin Dietz.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too. Newsmax has been terrific.
President Trump is right. Millions like you are tuning into Newsmax. You're watching Newsmax on cable. You're going to our streaming channel, Newsmax 2, and you're downloading our free Newsmax app on your smartphones and TVs. Reuters Institute says we're now one of the top news brands in the nation. Every night, watch great shows with Rob Schmidt, Carl Higbie, Rob Finnerty, and more as they expose the big media lies, the Washington swamp, and they're never afraid to talk about faith, freedom, and the values that made us great. Find out why Newsmax is the fastest growing news channel in America. Make the switch today and join our news revolution. Get Newsmax on cable, on streaming, and download the free app today. It takes just seconds to start. Let President Trump know you stand with Newsmax. It's for real news, for real people. Make the switch today.
Italian subs for your finance team in Chicago. Easy Cater. Burritos for your call center crew in Plano. Easy Cater. Bagels for your sales reps meeting clients in Charlotte. Easy Cater. Hot chicken sandwiches for your third shift warehouse workers in Memphis. EasyCater. Your teams may be spread out across the country, but you've got one platform to feed them all, whenever and wherever they work, with food they love from favorite restaurants. EasyCater. Food for the workplace, all in one place. Order now at easycater.com.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on the dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
760 WJR and the Detroit Economic Club are pleased to welcome Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson to our podium Thursday, February 5th at the Masonic Temple in Detroit. She'll share powerful stories from her rise in politics as well as those of paradigm shifters throughout history to demonstrate how we're all purposeful warriors who have power to define a better world. Catch Focus noon till 2 as we broadcast live. Special coverage is sponsored by DFCU Financial.
Have 4 legs. Our recliners recline. So come on by for a perfectly average experience.
Cumulus Digital doesn't stop at average. We work with more than 4,000 local businesses every month, delivering campaigns that beat industry averages by over 25%, driving real, measurable growth. You're not average. Your results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by King's Hawaiian Sliders. Nothing brings friends and family together on game day like delicious King's Hawaiian Sliders. Bring them to the big game table and be the real MVP. Pick some up this weekend in the bakery or deli section of your local store. Football and King's Irresistible Hawaiian Sliders. There's nothing like it.
Southbound 75 at Allen Road, an accident's taking up the right lane on the Lodge northbound at 7 Mile, crash in the right lane there as well. Accident off to the right shoulder of the Lodge southbound at 94. Southfield Freeway northbound before 8 Mile, an accident in the left lane has traffic slow from McNichols. Eastbound 94 at Rawsonville Road, crash on the right shoulder. Same story on eastbound 94 after Middle Belt. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
The frigid air staying in place will continue to push numbers below 20 degrees for the next few days. Upper teens today with increasing clouds. Tonight, some clouds around will hover down into the single digits below zero. Wind chills will make it feel even colder. Sunny as we wrap up the week Friday, highs will be just above 10 degrees with below zero readings once again at night, and then Saturday, partly sunny in the upper teens. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Weekday mornings, it's veteran storyteller and award-winning journalist Kevin Dietz, breaking down the headlines Michiganders are talking about. Kevin talks, and then you talk on All Talk, 9 a.m. to noon on 760 WJR.
All right, it's All Talk on a Thursday morning. We are live from the Detroit Policy Conference inside the department at Hudson's in downtown Detroit. You can learn more by going to chamber.com/DPC. That stands for Detroit Policy Chamber, chamber.com/DPC. With talk of tariffs dominating headlines, a new organization is stepping in to advocate for stable and affordable trade policy for Michigan. It's called the Michigan Smart Trade Alliance, co-founded by bipartisan public policy experts. It aims to educate residents and policymakers on how trade decisions directly affect household budgets. Recent polling by the group shows most Michiganders oppose tariffs that drive up costs and risk relations with key partners such as Canada, as President Trump has threatened duties on Canadian imports. Joining us now and here to help explain the group's goals is John Selleck, CEO at Harbor Strategic Public Relations. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Kevin. Thanks for having me. We're excited to be with you today.
Yeah, I appreciate you being here. You guys have a booth up, and we have been seeing people from both parties show up and ask questions and try and find out what the Michigan Smart Trade Alliance is all about. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're so glad to be at the Detroit Policy Conference today. If you're there, if you're going to be there, come by and see us. If you're not going to be there today, come to our website at smarttrademi.com or smarttradealliance.com. The reason that we're here, Kevin, is because of many of the business people who are at your event today. As we talked to people over the year last year about tariffs, there was a lot of concern, fear, frustration, and uncertainty. And everybody kept saying, well, when can we get together to just talk about this? Can we do it outside of the realm of politics? We know that's nearly impossible. Can we do it without being partisan? We're seeing plenty of politicians use tariffs as an election year game. But that doesn't help anybody, whether you're trying to balance your family checkbook with all the rising costs, or if you're a business or a farmer or running a tourism facility. How do you plan ahead when there's all this uncertainty? When one night there's tariffs on wine and pasta, and the next night there's new tariffs on South Korea. A lot of people want to talk about how can we get to consistency? How can we get to being smart about these alliances? We have to protect our national security, but we really also need to protect our trade relationship with Canada. We have a massive relationship with them. It's tied into our auto industry. It's tied into our tourism industry and our agriculture industry. So what we're trying to do is just put together a space for people from both parties or just business people that don't give a rip about politics to actually discuss it and hope the decision makers can hear what they're going through and perhaps maybe allow us to align these policies a little bit more consistently and calmly and be able to plan for the future.
All we hear about is how divided and polarized we are. And I do think there's some truth to that. But I also imagine that there are an awful lot of people who think there are a lot of issues that can be worked on together. Are you finding that people are willing to work together on this, or do they, dig in and say, this is our position, we're not moving from it?
Well, the president is certainly trying to do what he thinks is best for the country. And I think most of the people that we talk to just want to have their voice heard as he's making those decisions. But when we did polling late last year, and Kevin, we intentionally picked two national pollsters, one known as a Republican and one known as a Democrat. They worked together to do this so we could have a nonpartisan poll from both perspectives. And what we found is the vast majority of people, first of all, understand what's going on with tariffs, or they think they do. They're certainly reading about it. They're listening to it on WJR, and they know that it means it's a tax on the products that they buy that come into the country from other places. And they know it's a tax that interferes with products that are businesses where we work every day, where we're trying to sell our products in other countries. They're aware of that. And their number one issue when you ask them what they're concerned about, no surprise, is affordability and cost. And they understand if you're putting a new tax on top of all of this commerce, that we're going to see higher costs for everybody. We know we're seeing higher costs on the business side. If you're a farmer, all your inputs like fertilizer and tractors and equipment like that come from other places, they're paying more. Their ability to sell and ship their products to other places have become incredibly difficult, if not impossible. So that's put a huge squeeze on agriculture. The same goes, as we know every day in the news, for autos and all the suppliers we have here in Michigan. In our tourist industry, we got hit hard last year by Canadians dialing back on their trips to Michigan. And is that going to keep going forward? That's an issue. So when we look at the polling that we did, vast majorities into the 60 and 70% range say cost is their biggest problem. They know what tariffs are, and they know that tariffs increase costs. So they want to see us work together to try to figure out how to both accomplish the president's goal of improving the economy, but also to make sure that we have consistent, calm tariffs that we can plan around and not cause costs to go up. We're just looking to try to create the space for that conversation as we call people, Kevin, as they call us. I've been pleasantly surprised how many people say, finally, there's somebody here that wants to talk about this calmly. I don't want to be in a political press conference. I don't want to attack the president. I voted for the president, people will say, but I just need him to hear a little bit more about how this is affecting us here on the ground in Michigan.
But the president is on an affordability tour, and he's talking about how tariffs are working. We heard Stellantis is bringing all kinds of jobs from Canada to America, and that has Mark Carney in Canada very, very upset. Do people not see the long game of tariffs, or does it not necessarily help them because it may not do as much about costs as it is about securing jobs for Americans?
Well, we'd be hard-pressed to find people who wouldn't want to bring back manufacturing jobs to the United States, especially to Michigan. We know that issue is in a large part what helped drive President Trump's rise in politics, is the bitterness toward the globalization of the economy. However, economists after economists in Michigan that looks at the numbers and things that are happening here say that these costs that are piling up because of tariffs, the lack of markets, not only new markets, but the markets we counted on selling our soybeans and our wheat and our corn in other countries have dried up as these other countries like Canada say, okay, well, I'll cut a deal with someone else. And that in some places are leaving crops in the field in Michigan. And that's a serious problem. So we want there to be able to be a two-way discussion, a multiple-way discussion. We've had multiple groups join us so far just this week. We added the Michigan Retailers Association and the Midland Business Alliance. We're going to be adding a lot more people and groups as we go forward, and we'll be looking to put up discussions out in public. Hopefully, maybe we can do one on WJR, but we started up today by being at the Detroit Policy Conference with the Detroit Chamber, and we're talking to a lot of people, as you've seen in the halls. They are interested in having a place to talk about this because it's such a significant impact to the bottom line of Michigan's businesses.
And how important is that to be at the Detroit Policy Conference? And how great is it with the number of people who are attending who make decisions in this state?
Yeah, it's really unbelievable. And I think when we think of the Detroit Chamber Conference, if you just say that, you automatically think ahead to Mackinac. And why wouldn't we? Weather is finally getting warmer. We get to go down Mackinac Island and have a nice time and see the beautiful water. But the wintertime policy conference in Detroit has really grown to be a fantastic event. I think that's why WJR is there today. It's why we are there today. It's another round of discussions like the ones that we're trying to do on tariffs that Detroit needs, that Michigan needs. So we're really glad to be there today, and thank you for having us on your show as well.
All right, the new organization is called Advocate. John Selleck is here. He's an advocate for stable and affordable trade policy for Michigan. And we appreciate you coming on, and your booth is booming, and that's a good thing because that means people are talking. John Selleck, CEO at Harbor Strategic Public Relations. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Kevin.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Sandy Bruja is going to be here to talk about the Detroit Regional Chamber. It's All Talk. I'm Kevin Dietz.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and you can get up to a $5 cashback bonus on your first tank.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SUPPLY to get up to a $5 cashback bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SUPPLY to get up to a $5 cashback bonus on your first tank. That's code SUPPLY for up to a $5 cashback bonus.
The Spartans play here. 760 WJR.
Catch WJR's groundbreaking NewSportscaster.com's Open Mic, which features sports commentary and stories from the next generation of sports broadcasters. Hosted by Johnny Kane, airing Wednesdays from 8 to 9 p.m. right here on WJR.
Custom built for Detroit. 760 WJR.
Not sure how to tackle your taxes? Are you sweating the small print? You may be experiencing FOMO, the fear of messing up. The answer? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it with a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. It's time to take your taxes to the max. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
The American Red Cross is facing a severe blood shortage. Donors are needed now to make sure patients across the country receive life-saving care. There's no time to wait. Make an appointment today to give blood by using the Blood Donor app, visiting redcrossblood.org, or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS to schedule your donation.
Fox News, I'm Therese Crowley. Border Czar Tom Homan, in a briefing, says they've made a lot of progress working with the locals in Minnesota.
This administration is absolutely focused on identifying removal aliens that pose a public safety threat and national security threats.
And the state attorney general said county jails may notify ICE when they release inmates with deportation orders. Democrat Senator Amy Klobuchar announces her run for Minnesota governor, saying leaders must be willing to find common ground to fix what's wrong. The NYPD investigating a car ramming on a Brooklyn Jewish synagogue as a hate crime after a driver repeatedly rammed the doors of the Chabad Lubavitch World Headquarters. Socialist Mayor Zoran Mamdani.
Any threat to a Jewish institution or place of worship must be taken seriously. Anti-Semitism has no place in our city.
America is listening to Fox News.
WJR traffic and weather first.
Few problems on the roadways right now. The Lodge northbound at 7 Mile, an accident taking up the right lane. On the Lodge southbound at 94, crash off to the right shoulder. Accident blocking the left lane of the Southfield Freeway northbound before 8 Mile. That has traffic heavy to McNichols. Crash in the left lane of the Southfield Freeway southbound before McNichols. Traffic slow from 7 Mile. Also slow travel on southbound 75 between North Line and Eureka due to an earlier accident. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by NECA IBEW Local 58. Count on the Powering Michigan team of IBEW 58 skilled electricians and NECA signatory contractors for your next commercial, industrial, public, or residential construction project. The best electricians, the best electrical contractors, period. Learn more at poweringmichigansfuture.com. Partly cloudy, cold today, a high of 16. Right now, it's 10. Bitterly cold temps overnight with a low of -1. A mix of clouds and sunshine tomorrow and a high of 15. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This weekend is the Troy Home Show at the San Marino Club on Big Beaver. Some of the best home improvement companies in Michigan at the Troy Home Show. See TroyHomeShow.com. And coming up, Downriver Home Show and the new Ann Arbor Home Show. See MichiganHomeshows.com.
Furnished by IntelliBrands. Whether because of discomfort, lack of mobility, your lifestyle, or occupation, you sit inactively way too many hours a day. Get an Ellipse, the premium quality automatic seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation without physical strain or impact. Improve your flexibility and balance. Strengthen and tone your legs.
My joints feel better, my knees feel better, my back feels better, and it makes me feel stronger too.
My circulation is moving. I'm burning calories, and it makes me feel energetic.
It's so quiet that none of my coworkers even know I'm using it.
Call now and order Ellipse, the seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation. And for a limited time, get a free upgrade to our deluxe bundle with a faster motor, sport mat, and wireless remote. Call 800-555-1212. That's 800-555-1212. 800-555-1212 now. These statements and products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Let's breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Exhale very slowly. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ed Council.
Well, it's wintertime out there, and this is the time of year we get some very specific emails at theinsideoutsideguys.com. Like, why can't I keep my home warm?
Or why are my windows full of condensation? Ken and I have answers to all of those things, and most of them are found in the experts that we refer to people.
We'll give you advice, but if the advice doesn't help, we have great professionals at the Inside Outside Guys, no matter what time of year it is. For housing information you can trust, go to theinsideoutsideguys.com.
Sponsored by Pure Air Michigan.
Think you might have mold? Maybe your family is always fighting off unexplained illnesses. Air quality testing can be quick and affordable with Pure Air Michigan. Their certified professionals help identify air quality concerns and explain what the results mean. Using a patented dry fog process and EPA-registered solutions, Pure Air Michigan treats air and surfaces throughout the entire space, often without major tear-outs and with minimal downtime. Learn more at pureairmichigan.com or call today at 586-220-5528.
You're listening to All Talk on WJR. It's the Detroit Regional Chamber's Detroit Policy Conference. Once again from the department at the new Hudson's Tower. Here's Kevin Dietz.
And what a turnout we have. The cold weather has not deterred anybody. The commute downtown was actually easy breezy today, just a little chilly. The Detroit Policy Conference exists to bring decision makers together around Michigan's future. It's where businesses, government, and community leaders align or sometimes clash over priorities. The Chamber plays a central role in shaping those conversations, from economic growth to regional cooperation. The organization helps set the agenda, and joining us live is Sandy Bruja, President and CEO of the Detroit Regional Chamber. Good morning. How are you?
Get to be with you, and thank you to WJR. Thank you to you, Kevin, for bringing the show on the road.
It's super important to be here. It really is. First, let's talk about where we're at. How about this building? It is absolutely unbelievable. The department at Hudson's, to be able to walk in here and kind of remember back to where my parents and grandparents were decades ago. It's fun for me.
I tell you, this is obviously, Detroit's new icon. It is the first skyscraper built in Detroit in 30, 40 years, right? It's an amazing facility. Unfortunately, we've had the opportunity to be here several times since it opened. Had the opportunity to tour General Motors headquarters upstairs, and just spectacular, absolutely spectacular, world class all around.
Yeah, we were walking downtown Detroit about 3 weeks ago, I'd say, and I could not believe how many people were coming in, taking a look. It's a special place in people's memory and hearts.
Yeah, so obviously, the Hudson's department store predated me. I mean, I'm by those standards, I'm relatively new here, 15 years. But I grew up in Portland, Oregon, where we had our version of Hudson's. It was called Meyer and Frank. Traditional, old school, beautiful, high-end department store where people, you wore gloves and all that, and you could have lunch or dinner there as well. So I get the references to Hudson, and I get the strong emotional appeal that this particular block has for Detroiters.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And let's talk about the policy. The theme this year?
Yeah, the theme this year is a new leadership era because, there's been so much change. Obviously, we have a new mayor, Mary Sheffield, who unfortunately can't be with us today. She's doing, mayor stuff. She's in Washington, D.C. At her first U.S. Conference of Mayors meeting. That's where she absolutely should be. As we all know well, Michigan is going to be the focal point of national politics this year with an open gubernatorial seat, open U.S. Senate seat, 3 open congressional seats, not to mention our entire legislature is up as well. So it's going to be pretty hard to watch television for 8 months.
You don't like negative commercials?
Yeah. If you don't like negative commercials, get a streaming service.
It's coming.
You're going to need it.
It's coming. It'll be good for some businesses.
Yeah.
Along those lines. And we're going to have a new governor next year. Mm-hmm. And the policy conference, this is the time we work on things for the future. We're not working on things that happened 6 months ago. This is getting people together to work about what happens next.
Yeah, exactly right. In fact, the 2 things that I talked about when myself and Megan Spanitz, our chief strategy officer, kicked off the conference is that, one, we're trying to build an innovation corridor between Ann Arbor and Detroit, working with University of Michigan, Michigan State University, and Wayne State to kind of tie all these assets together. On the automotive front, our automotive unit, Mich Auto, run by my friend Glenn Stevens, is really trying to create a statewide roadmap for the auto and mobility industry that we can hand to the next governor, the next legislature, because our automotive industry is really at risk here in Michigan, and it's one of the most important industries on the planet. It's one of the most technologically advanced industries on the planet. It's one of the most value-added industries on the planet, and we're not trying to diversify away from auto. We're trying to use the auto industry as a platform for diversification.
So where is Michigan getting everything right? What are we doing that's right? And then where are we falling short?
Yeah, so I'll be honest with you, Kevin. It's a little bit easier to answer the latter question in terms of where we're falling short.
I still want to be negative.
Yeah, no, I get it, but listen. I mean, obviously, our natural beauty, our culture, the people who are here. I mean, it is just a fabulous state to be in. But on the policy front, we've got challenges. We are underperforming in education. Both our K through 12 system across the state is struggling. We're not getting the results that we're frankly paying for. That's a problem. We don't have enough of our students matriculating from high school going into some sort of post-secondary credential, either a skilled credential, a 2-year community college, or a 4-year full university experience. Our economic development policy is frankly lacking. It's not consistent. Governor over governor, year over year. That's a problem. So, we do have some big issues. We also have a little bit of NIMBYism, right? I mean, you can look at the data center that's going up in Saline. It's like there's a lot of misinformation about that. And we're hesitant to change. So, we do need to work on our culture as well.
We are hearing from candidates, though, that they recognize the education crisis we're in. Hopefully that's not just all talk. Hopefully they're actually going to move to make things better here. We have a roadmap in Mississippi of how to get it done. Do you feel like people are ready to make those moves? And do you think Michigan is ready to hold people accountable? Because this has been going on for a long time.
Yeah. So, Kevin, you're exactly right. And you're asking exactly the right question, is that are we willing to hold people accountable? So as recently as the year 2000, Michigan was a top 20 state when it came to education. We are a top 20 state when it came to per capita income. We're now in the bottom 10 in both of those categories. So in frankly, less than a generation, we have fallen from being top 20 to being bottom 10. No other state in the nation has fallen as quickly and as far than the state of Michigan on those two critical metrics. So we have to find a way. We need the political will. But our polling, our statewide polling, as you know, we do a lot of statewide polling with the Glenn Gariff Group. Michiganders generally feel that we're about average, if not slightly above average, in all of those categories. So until the voters decide, okay, we need fundamental reform, we need to break some eggs to make an omelet. I'm not quite sure how we're going to get there.
Yeah, it's a real problem because young families aren't going to stay here if their kids can't get a good education, and certainly families from other states aren't going to move here if their kids can't get an education. We need people coming into the state, and we can talk about tech and advancement and all these things, but you have to hit the basics if you want people to move into the state. Sandy Bruja, President and CEO of Detroit Regional Chamber, fabulous conference. Looking forward to it. It's going to be great.
Good to be with you as always. Thanks.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. It's All Talk. I'm Kevin Dietz.
Furnished by IntelliBrands. Whether because of discomfort, lack of mobility, your lifestyle, or occupation, you sit inactively way too many hours a day. Get an Ellipse, the premium quality automatic seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation without physical strain or impact. Improve your flexibility and balance. Strengthen and tone your legs.
My joints feel better, my knees feel better, my back feels better, and it makes me feel stronger too.
My circulation is moving. I'm burning calories, and it makes me feel energetic.
It's so quiet that none of my coworkers even know I'm using it.
Call now and order Ellipse, the seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation. And for a limited time, get a free upgrade to our deluxe bundle with a faster motor, sport mat, and wireless remote. Call 800-555-1212. That's 800-555-1212. 800-555-1212 now. These statements and products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Catch School Talks with Dr. Robert Livernoy.
This week on the program, we'll chat with the Michigan Science Center and hear about the newly renovated planetarium and all the places you can travel in outer space on a spaceship.
We're flying out through the rings of Saturn. We're flying out to the Orion Nebula. We're flying out to globular clusters or the black hole that's at the center of the Milky Way galaxy.
School Talks, Sundays at 3 on WJR.
Taxes was waiting on the refund you needed yesterday. All right, your car repair is going to run about $3,000.
Now Taxes is getting back on the road with TurboTax and Credit Karma, where you can get your refund up to 5 days faster and get personalized guidance to take every dollar further. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Deposit a federal refund into Credit Karma Money account and early submission of refund data by IRS required. Terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank Inc. Member FDIC. Credit Karma is not a bank.
Well, it's wintertime out there, and this is the time of year we get some very specific emails at the InsideOutsideGuys.com. Like, why can't I keep my home warm?
Or why are my windows full of condensation? Ken and I have answers to all of those things, and most of them are found in the experts that we refer to people.
We'll give you advice, but if the advice doesn't help, we have great professionals at the Inside Outside Guys. No matter what time of year it is, for housing information you can trust, go to the InsideOutsideGuys.com.
Sponsored by Pure Air Michigan.
Think you might have mold? Maybe your family is always fighting off unexplained illnesses. Air quality testing can be quick and affordable with Pure Air Michigan. Their certified professionals help identify air quality concerns and explain what the results mean. Using a patented dry fog process and EPA-registered solutions, Pure Air Michigan treats air and surfaces throughout the entire space, often without major tear-outs and with minimal downtime. Learn more at pureairmichigan.com or call today at 586-220-5528.
Who wouldn't love a night of laughter with a purpose? Join the Salvation Army of Metro Detroit February 11th at Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle for Comedy for a Cause, featuring comedian Paul Mercurio. Tickets are just $60 with proceeds benefiting the Bed and Bread program, helping Detroiters in need. Buy tickets today at sametrodetroit.org. And don't forget to catch the Salvation Army's 39th Annual Bed and Bread Club Radiothon on February 26th and 27th on 760 WJR.
WJR welcomes the Sing a Song All Night Long. The tour continues with legendary singer-songwriter and producer Lionel Richie and one of the best-selling bands of all time, Earth, Wind & Fire, to Little Caesars Arena July 1st. You could win tickets from WJR. Text keyword SING to 800-859-0957. It's sponsored by Live Nation. Find official rules at WJR.com. Tickets available for purchase starting at 10 a.m. Friday, January 30th at Ticketmaster.
Every day, unsung heroes are transforming our neighborhoods. And 760 WJR's Michigan Voices with me, Marie Osborne, is here to tell their stories. But we need your help to find them. Do you know a local nonprofit or other community organization making an impact? Help us shine a spotlight on their work. Email the details to michiganvoices@wjr.com. Let's join forces to amplify the people building a better Michigan. Michigan Voices, Sunday mornings at 5:30, only on 760 WJR.
WJR traffic and weather first.
Still a few problems on the roadways slowing you down as you head out the door on the Lodge northbound at 7 Mile. Crash there, taking up the right lane. Southbound on the Lodge at 94, an accident off to the right shoulder. Left lane blocked by an accident on the Southfield Freeway northbound before 8 Mile. That one has traffic slow to McNichols. Southfield Freeway southbound before McNichols. Crash in the left lane, traffic heavy to 7 Mile. And slow traffic on southbound 75 between Northline and Eureka due to an earlier crash. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
Good news is that no more precipitation with the cold air. The bad news is the cold air is getting even colder, as we're seeing here this morning. Believe it or not, next couple of mornings even colder. We'll go through the day with increasing clouds. 15 tonight, single digits below zero. Coldest readings outside of town. Tomorrow about 12, mostly sunny. And then below zero again tomorrow night. Setting us up for a chilly Saturday, but slightly better. Partly sunny upper teens. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicon, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
All right, it's All Talk on a Thursday morning. I'm Kevin Dietz. We are live from the Detroit Policy Conference inside the department at Hudson's. What a stunning place to hold this policy conference. You can learn more about it at chamber.com/DPC. You know, innovation, it's no longer optional. It's foundational to economic survival. Universities and startups are now core economic engines in the state. Wayne State and Tech Town sit at the intersection, really, of talent and entrepreneurship. What happens here impacts Detroit's next generation of employees. Join us now is Ned Stabler, Vice President of Economic Development at Wayne State and CEO of TechTown. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Kevin. Thanks for having me inside where it's a lot warmer than outside.
It is. It is very nice temperature in here, and people are very happy this morning to be inside Hudson's. So what are the goals for you at the conference this year?
Well, this is a great conference. I love it because everybody's here. All the movers, the shakers, the decision makers. If I want to have meetings with people, whether it's about transit or innovation policy or how we help small businesses along our commercial corridors, I run into everybody that I want to talk to. And when they say, oh, we need to talk to so-and-so, well, she just happens to walk by and we can grab her. So that's my goal, really, is to go and find the right people.
It is different than a Zoom call or a phone call. To be able to see people face to face, it really does make a difference, and it really does advance relationships.
There's something about working from home that allows you, you can accomplish a task as effectively, if not more effectively, with no one bothering you like they do at the office. But you don't get all those ancillary serendipitous collisions where you see somebody and go, oh, yeah, here are the three other things I meant to do or tell you. You have to be intentional when you're remote. So being back in person is just such a boon for growth.
Let's talk about universities and how they drive economic development.
There is no greater engine for economic development than Michigan's public universities. The 15 public universities have an annual economic impact of over $45 billion with a B dollars a year. They only get $1.5 billion from the state. So you're getting a 30-to-1 return on your money as a taxpayer. It is the single best investment that the state of Michigan makes every year. We come up with new technologies. We commercialize companies. We get new jobs. We provide the workforce for high growth companies all across the state. It is literally the best thing you can do for economic development. If our public universities weren't here, that would be the number one prescription for economic development I would say we needed to do, was create our current education system.
Is there more we need to do in that department to even grow it more?
Absolutely. I mean, so one of the challenges we have is the cost of education. And the reality is, people always say, well, education's gotten so expensive. It's so hard. A college degree's gotten so expensive.
Right.
But the cost of a college degree really hasn't changed that much. Who's paying for it has changed. So if we went back 20 years, and I said that we're putting about $1.5 billion into it at state level, that's what we were putting into it 20 years ago as well. To be on an inflation-adjusted same basis, we'd have to be at $2.5 billion into it. So who's paying for that now is the students, their parents, and to some extent the federal government. But it makes it seem like it's much more expensive, even though the real cost hasn't changed.
Right. What role does TechTown play in Detroit's startup ecosystem?
So TechTown is the original. It's the OG. We've been here for over 20 years. We've helped 9,000 businesses. They've raised about $500 million, $500 million of startup and growth capital. And it's not just getting them up and going. We really want these businesses to be successful. We don't want to start more businesses. We want to start more successful businesses, because this breaks cycles of intergenerational poverty. It creates amenities in our neighborhoods, and it creates jobs and opportunities for Detroiters and Metro Detroiters really across the region. And that's the role of TechTown, because we do tech, and we do non-tech businesses as well. If you've eaten in a cool restaurant, if you've shopped in a cool store in Detroit in the last 20 years, probably one of our clients.
What? Give us an example of a company that came in, just a little startup, and then it really took off.
Oh, there's so many of them. But, I'll go back to one of those non-tech businesses, because everyone wants you to say Facebook or Google or whatever. But I'm going to go even better than that. About 6-7 years ago, a company called Baobab Fair came into our hatch competition, ended up winning it, won $100,000 to kick off their restaurant. When they opened on Woodward and Grand Boulevard a few years ago, they were named Best New Restaurant of the Year by the Free Press. They went on to be a James Beard finalist, and they're in the process of opening up 3 new restaurants across the city, food truck and a couple more restaurants. They also are selling coffee and chocolate and merchandise. Great company, great food. Highly recommend you go check them out.
And small businesses, I mean, they really do fuel the economy. They're the backbone, really.
Absolutely lifeblood of our economy here and everywhere. They're more than half of the jobs, and every net new job in this country in the last 3 decades has come in a company that's under 5 years old.
Do we have enough talent in the state? And that could be for any industry, from high tech to plumbers. I feel like I hear a lot that we don't have enough talent in the state.
Yep, that is absolutely true. And it's funny because you say you hear that, and we all hear that because it's 100% true. And yet our policymakers are continuing to focus on sort of the last set of problems which we don't have enough jobs. I get it. For 50 years, all we heard is we need more jobs, we need more jobs. But the reality is, for the last 25, 30 years, we've had enough jobs. They've been open. I mean, last I looked, there were a couple 100,000 open jobs here. We don't have enough people. We don't have enough talent, and that could be skilled trades, definitely college education. The number one indicator of whether or not your city, your state, your region is going to be successful is the percentage of people in it that have a college degree. And unfortunately, we're like 35th in the country. What do we need to do to turn that around? So we got this great public education system. Don't get me wrong. U of M, Michigan State, Wayne State, and the 12 others are amazing, and a great private system as well. The problem is we don't have places that globally mobile talent, educated talent, wants to be. The number one thing they want is walkable urbanism with mass transit and lots of amenities. And we haven't been investing in that. We're like 49th in investing in our transit system. If you said, Ned, here's a magic wand, go and make your one policy change, you get one day, it would be real regional transit in Detroit, Grand Rapids, Lansing, and the commuter trains to connect it all. Yeah, they're talking about connecting Detroit to Ann Arbor. Yep. That would be amazing. But we've been talking about connectivity of the various counties for as long as I've been here, and I've been here a long time. I hear you, man. I'm 50-something years old, and my whole life we've been talking about it. That's the problem. Other places are doing it. So you look at Florida, they've got commuter rail going from Orlando all the way down to Miami now. Texas and Austin are building it out all over the place. Other places around the country are investing in it. It's time we caught up and did the same. Yeah, former Mayor Mike Duggan just walked by. He's running for governor. Just proves my point that you can run into anybody. You get a few seconds with somebody. You do your elevator pitch, and it just makes it's one of the reasons this policy conference is so cool. Ned Stabler, VP Economic Development, Wayne State University, CEO of TechTown. I could talk to you for hours. I really appreciate you being here. Let's get you back on the show again real soon and continue the conversation. It's really important. Anytime you want. It's my favorite subject to talk about is economic development at the state level and the local level. And so as long as you bring me back in from the cold, I'm here to do it. You got it. All right. Thank you so much. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. We are live from the Detroit Policy Conference inside the department at Hudson's. It's All Talk. I'm Kevin Dietz.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can slow it down, get it going slower. Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Capted Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
From the Golden Tower of the Fisher Building, this is 760 WJR.
This is injury attorney David Femininio. I wanted to share with you what my clients tell me they hear from other law firms. You hear that silence? That's what it feels like when your lawyer doesn't call you back. At Femininio Law, that doesn't happen. And when we take your case, we fight until you get what you deserve. If you're injured in a car accident, let's talk. Call 855-65-CRASH or go to my website, getdavidgetpaid.com.
The Spartans play here. 760 WJR.
Every day, unsung heroes are transforming our neighborhoods. And 760 WJR's Michigan Voices with me, Marie Osborne, is here to tell their stories. But we need your help to find them. Do you know a local nonprofit or other community organization making an impact? Help us shine a spotlight on their work. Email the details to michiganvoices@wjr.com. Let's join forces to amplify the people building a better Michigan. Michigan Voices, Sunday mornings at 5:30, only on 760 WJR.
The Spartans play here. This is the great voice of the Great Lakes. 760 WJR, Detroit, a Cumulus media station.
Speaks out in Minnesota. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
This isn't good. But I think my conversations the last 2.5 days are leading us to a safer community.
Tom Homan, now in charge of immigration enforcement there, says he and Democrats don't agree on everything, but as ICE targets those here illegally committing crimes, the state attorney general told him
that county jails may notify ICE of the release dates of criminal public safety risks so ICE can take custody of them.
As for all the anti-ICE demonstrators, Homan called agitators who got even angry after Saturday's deadly shooting of a protester. Homan urged them to be peaceful and...
if you don't like what ICE is doing, instead of protesting this building, go protest Congress. Tell me what changes.
We also just heard from Attorney General Pam Bondi that 16 people have been charged in Minnesota for either violently assaulting federal officers or damaging federal property in recent weeks. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry, who wants ICE to leave, has gone to Washington, D.C. for a meeting with other mayors, while a Democratic Senator, Amy Klobuchar, announces she's running for governor in Minnesota, speaking out in a video against
the killings of Renee Good, a mom of 3, and Alex Preddy, a nurse who took care of our veterans. 3,000 ICE agents on our streets and in our towns.
We'll hear more about immigration and other issues when President Trump holds a cabinet meeting next hour. Earlier on Truth Social, he reacted to the Federal Reserve not cutting interest rates yesterday. Again, critical of Fed Chairman Jerome Powell, writing he's hurting the country and national security. There's a local and federal hate crime investigation in New York City. The morning after a man drove a car into a synagogue last night, backing up, ramming it numerous times in Brooklyn. No one was hurt. He's in custody. Mayor Zoran Mamdani.
Any threat to a Jewish institution or place of worship must be taken seriously. Anti-Semitism has no place in our city, and violence or intimidation against Jewish New Yorkers is unacceptable.
America's listening to Fox News.
WJR traffic and weather first.
This report is sponsored by King's Hawaiian Sliders. Nothing brings friends and family together on game day like delicious King's Hawaiian Sliders. Bring them to the big game table and be the real MVP. Pick some up this weekend in the bakery or deli section of your local store. Football and King's Irresistible Hawaiian Sliders. There's nothing like it.
A couple of crashes on the roads right now. An accident taking up the left lane at the Southfield Freeway southbound before McNichols has traffic backed up to 8 Mile. Northbound 75 at North Line Road, a crash off to the right shoulder there. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Partly cloudy, cold today, a high of 16. Right now it's 14. Bitterly cold temps overnight tonight with a low of -1. A mix of clouds and sunshine tomorrow and a high of 15. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR traffic and weather first.
Italian subs for your finance team at Chicago. Easy Cater. Burritos for your call center crew in Plano. Easy Cater. Bagels for your sales reps meeting clients in Charlotte. Easy Cater. Hot chicken sandwiches for your third shift warehouse workers in Memphis. Easy Cater. Your teams may be spread out across the country, but you've got one platform to feed them all, whenever and wherever they work, with food they love from favorite restaurants. Easy Cater. Food for the workplace, all in one place. Order now at easycater.com.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too. Newsmax has been terrific.
President Trump is right. Millions like you are tuning into Newsmax. You're watching Newsmax on cable. You're going to our streaming channel, Newsmax 2. And you're downloading our free Newsmax app on your smartphones and TVs. Reuters Institute says we're now one of the top news brands in the nation. Every night, watch great shows with Rob Schmidt, Carl Higbie, Rob Finnerty, and more as they expose the big media lies, the Washington swamp, and they're never afraid to talk about faith, freedom, and the values that made us great. Find out why Newsmax is the fastest-growing news channel in America. Make the switch today and join our news revolution. Get Newsmax on cable, on streaming, and download the free app today. It takes just seconds to start. Let President Trump know you stand with Newsmax. It's for real news, for real people. Make the switch today.
From the department at Hudson's, bringing you coverage of the Detroit Regional Chambers 2026 Detroit Policy Conference. This is All Talk with Kevin Dietz on 760 WJR. Here's Kevin.
Thursday morning, welcome into the 10 o'clock hour of All Talk. There are moments when place and timing line up perfectly, and this is one of them. We are live at the Detroit Policy Conference, and what you feel in this room is urgency mixed with confidence. This is not theory. This is not talk for talk's sake. This is Michigan's leadership class sitting shoulder to shoulder asking the same questions. How do we get this right? And what makes today different is that we're having this conversation at a moment of transition. Detroit has new leadership setting a new tone. Next year, Michigan will have a new governor, and with that comes a reset. New priorities, new expectations, new opportunities. The decisions that shape the next decade are being influenced right now, not later. And that makes this conference matter more than ever, because conferences like this aren't about applause lines. They're about alignment. When business leaders understand what government is trying to do, when policymakers hear directly from employers, when healthcare, education, labor, and innovation sit at the same table, real progress becomes possible. That's how policy becomes practical. And let's talk about where we are. This building tells the story before anyone even opens their mouth. The department at Hudson's stood empty in our imagination for years, a hole in the ground that symbolized everything people said Detroit could not do. And now just look at this place, light-filled, modern, alive, a place designed to bring people together, not push them apart. That matters because the building sends a signal. And this one tells the world Detroit finishes what it starts. It tells investors this city is serious. It tells young talent that there is a real future here. And it tells the rest of the country that Michigan is done explaining itself. That's the energy that we're carrying into every conversation today. This isn't about politics necessarily. It's about outcomes, jobs that keep people here in Michigan, infrastructure that moves the economy, education that prepares the workforce for what's ahead, healthcare that strengthens communities, growth that includes all of us. Detroit doesn't need saving. Michigan doesn't need permission. What we need and what's happening right here today is leadership choosing collaboration over chaos and vision over nostalgia. That's what progress sounds like, and that's what's happening here at the Detroit Policy Conference. Marie Osborne is with us. She's covering all the big stories and joins us now. Good morning, Marie.
And good morning, Kevin. Longtime Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar has announced that she is running for governor, jumping in the race 3 weeks after Governor Tim Walz announced that he will not seek re-election. In a video posted on social media, Klobuchar called out the Trump administration and their recent federal immigration crackdown operations in the state.
I believe we must stand up for what's right and fix what's wrong. That's why today I'm announcing my candidacy for governor of the state of Minnesota. These times call for leaders who can stand up and not be rubber stamps of this administration, but who are also willing to find common ground and fix things in our state.
The state, of course, becoming an epicenter in a heated battle over the president's immigration crackdown following the fatal shootings by federal agents of 2 U.S. citizens in Minneapolis. It also comes as the Trump administration has targeted the state in several investigations, claiming widespread fraud and misuse of taxpayer funds.
As expected, the Federal Reserve has paused its interest rate cutting cycle following 3 consecutive reductions. Policymakers cited stubborn inflation and a cooling labor market. The Fed has cut rates by 175 basis points in September of 2024. Officials say they will now assess incoming economic data. Markets had widely expected the pause. President Donald Trump continues pushing for lower borrowing costs. The timing of any future cuts remains uncertain, Marie.
2 more cases of Legionella have been found in 2 Oakland County buildings. Positive samples were detected at the Resource and Center in the North Oakland Health Center. Filters on all fixtures are being installed in both buildings. The county previously dealt with similar problems at the Sheriff's Administration building and the county courthouse.
Well, we all know about the big money in NIL in college sports. Some say it's ruining college sports. Well, now it is moving into Michigan high schools. Let's bring in WJR sports analyst Steve Courtney. Hey, Steve.
It was only a matter of time, and here we go. Michigan high school student athletes can now profit off their name, image, and likeness. That is in effect right now. The Michigan High School Athletic Association Representative Council approved these new bylaws last Friday that will now allow high school athletes in our great state of Michigan to sign financial deals based on personal NIL through an expansion of the organization's personal brand activities, also known as PBA. Now, prior to this, high school student athletes in Michigan were afforded very limited personal branding opportunities, such as hosting camps or clinics. The quote here, it is individual opportunities for individual kids. This, according to MHSAA Executive Director Mark Ewell, who does a tremendous job, and they really are through third parties. Not only can there be no group or collective type activity, but none of this can be connected to the school. So any school employee, head coach, volunteer coach, booster club member, all of this has to flow directly from the student athlete and their family to a third party company. And it is for individual opportunities for a kid to use this, to use his or her personal brand. I think that's a narrow exception. Now, in case you're wondering, Michigan becomes the 46th state in the United States to approve NIL deals for high school student athletes. Now, school employees and coaches, of course, are prohibited from soliciting, arranging, negotiating, or promoting deals on behalf of athletes. Additionally, students are prohibited from using any school names or logos and cannot participate in NIL PBA activity while at an MHSAA event, such as a game or practice during school or while on school grounds. And there's the obvious: deals promoting things deemed inconsistent with the values and goals of interscholastic athletics, like gambling, alcohol, or other banned substances, certainly prohibited. Now, here's the deal. All the opportunities must be disclosed to the MHSAA 7 days before being accepted and must receive the MHSAA's approval. Schools can choose to have stricter policies. So there you go. Remember, back in 2023, the MHSAA supported a proposed state law that would have legalized NIL deals for high school athletes. The bill, House Bill 4816, as a matter of fact, garnered enough support in Michigan's House of Representatives, but stalled in the state Senate. So we are underway. And the interesting thing here is, Kev, Marie, unlike what's going on at the college level, there appears to be rules, according to what Executive Director Mark Ewell has told us.
How much appetite is there from companies to go after high school kids? Are we talking about just a couple of kids in the state, or are we talking about widespread?
Well, it's been done, and there's really no collective data, Kev, as to how this has gone down in the other states. And again, as I stated, Michigan getting into this thing a little late, state number 46, as a matter of fact. I think there is going to be some trickle down. Is there going to be cheating? Well, this is what cheaters do. But you know what? Now, if you're a coach, and they're already under a lot of pressure, youth coaches, I'm telling you, I've been saying this for a while. It's quite an experience. So now you're going to have to deal with parents getting on you because their kids' playing time is what?
Exactly.
Affecting their payroll.
Exactly. Right. I worry about the kids and the pressure that they're going to be under now. These are young kids.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Steve Courtney, WJR sports analyst. We certainly appreciate it. We are live from the Detroit Policy Conference, and when we come back, we're going to talk with Bob Riney, President and Chief Executive Officer at Henry Ford Health. Stay with us.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
start outperforming today.
Hey, Chris Renwick here, and right now many of us are planning our vacations for this year, and I want to invite you to come with me to Germany, Austria, and Prague with my friends from Conservative Tours this May. We're going to see the most beautiful places in the world. We're going to eat the best food, drink the best wines, learn all sorts of history, and see things you never thought were possible. I'm joined by Ken Chase, who heads up Conservative Tours. Tell us more.
The stunning views of southern Germany, and we choose southern Germany, of course, because it's the most beautiful region of all of Germany. Munich, of course, is a magnificent city. There are many other small cities, Nuremberg being one of them. When you're standing on this little pedestrian bridge and you're looking back at Neuschwanstein Castle, that's the fairy tale castle of Disney World, that's taken from magnificent Neuschwanstein.
For a trip of a lifetime, join me and my friends from Conservative Tours. Reserve for our May journey at conservativetours.com or call 888-733-9494. That's conservativetours.com.
WJR welcomes the Sing-A-Song All Night Long. The tour continues with legendary singer-songwriter and producer Lionel Richie and one of the best-selling bands of all time, Earth, Wind, and Fire, to Little Caesars Arena July 1st. You could win tickets from WJR. Text keyword SING to 800-859-0957. It's sponsored by Live Nation. Find official rules at WJR.com. Tickets available for purchase starting at 10 a.m. Friday, January 30th at Ticketmaster.
WJR traffic and weather first.
This report is sponsored by King's Hawaiian Sliders. Nothing brings friends and family together on game day like delicious King's Hawaiian Sliders. Bring them to the big game table and be the real MVP. Pick some up this weekend in the bakery or deli section of your local store. Football and King's Irresistible Hawaiian Sliders. There's nothing like it.
On the Southfield Freeway southbound before McNichols, an accident's taking up the two left lanes. Traffic slow from 8 Mile, northbound 75 at North Line, crash off to the right shoulder. Northbound Van Dyke between Martin and 12 Mile. Right lane is closed there daily 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. today and tomorrow. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
Cold stays, and we'll see a little more cloud come in as the day progresses today, and we hover around 15 degrees after another bitter cold start. Single digits below zero tonight. Single digits below zero tomorrow night. Daytime highs will get up into the low to mid-teens as we head on through Friday and Saturday. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
In a town built on grit, there's one voice that cuts through the noise. Afternoons, Michigan turns to Ryan Ermani. Fearless, unfiltered, and impossible to ignore. It's JR Afternoon 2 till 4 on 760 WJR.
It's All Talk on a chilly Thursday. We are live from the Detroit Policy Conference inside the beautiful department at Hudson's in downtown Detroit. You can learn more at chamber.com/DPC. We all know healthcare is economic policy, really. Major health systems shape jobs, neighborhoods, and outcomes. Henry Ford Health is in the middle of transformational projects. What's being built today is really going to define care tomorrow and for decades to come. Joining us now is Bob Riney, President and CEO of Henry Ford Health. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Great to be here.
Yeah, it's great to see you. How great is this conference?
You know, it's an amazing conference. There's great energy, and then just this location.
That's unbelievable.
You know, it's just another sign of all of the things that have been happening over the last 10 years and maybe even 20 years. And now we're getting to enjoy the fruits of that labor while we're advancing more exciting things.
I remember my parents and grandparents, for that matter, telling stories about coming to Hudson's. And now today I'm in the lobby of the Hudson's.
Well, you're aging me because I don't have to go for my parents and grandparents. I have vivid memories myself.
Which is really cool, right?
It's wonderful.
And then because you do, I mean, how do you think it holds up?
I think it holds up beautifully. In fact, you know, for Dan Gilbert, you know, he just applies such values to everything he does because, you know, there was no compelling reason to pay homage to Hudson's in the way that he's done in this building, except it's quintessential Detroit. It was such a heart and soul of the city, and he wanted those memories those stories to evolve and grow over time. And so it's great.
I think it sends a message that Detroit and Michigan, for that matter, is for real, that we're investing in things that are going to be here for decades to come. And when we talk to people about, is Detroit and Michigan a good place to move to and come and work? It is, because we're serious about it.
We're serious, and we've got a great story to tell, and we can back it up by facts. I mean, the end of the day now, we have an exciting community for people to live, work, and play. Is it perfect? Heck no. But most young folks today, they're not looking for perfection. They're looking for reality. They're looking for something that feels, tastes, and sounds real. They want the city and all the grit that goes with it. They don't want a sterile environment. And the mixture we have now is just perfect.
Do you think our leadership is ready to make policy that lets that story become a reality?
I think it's a really good question. And I think that, leaders being ready to support policy comes from knowing that their citizens are ready. So I think that we have to collectively continue to make sure that every citizen sees themselves in this, sees that there's something in all of this economic development activity that is going to improve their lives or their families' lives. And we've got to make that connection, because if we make that connection, politicians will support their stakeholders and policy will flow.
You've been in healthcare for decades. You know how important it is. I look out the window at the Fisher Building and I can see the skyline changing a little bit in Detroit. I mean, you guys have an incredible project going on. A few. Why don't you talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, I couldn't be more proud and excited about what we're doing at our Henry Ford Hospital campus. We are taking the oldest physical academic medical center in the country in terms of the buildings and keeping them, but transforming the campus with an all-new bed tower, all-new emergency room, all-new ORs, all-new procedure rooms, an amazing research center with Michigan State University and the Nick Gilbert Neurofibromatosis Research Institute, the Shirley Ryan Ability Lab Rehab Center, housing, multi-income housing. It'll be the ultimate newest example of live, work, play in the city. And it'll connect to the north end, to Midtown and what Wayne State University is doing, to the downtown corridor. And you can just see all these, what used to be separate pieces of a puzzle now connecting together. And that's where the magic happens.
It's incredible, really. And I think that shows how healthcare can impact Michigan's economy, because that whole area is going to change. We saw it with the train station, what was an area that people, went to take a photo of an eyesore. Now, my goodness, it's just phenomenal what's going on there. You have that same opportunity.
We do. And you know what? People, especially the younger generations, they want to be part of a journey. They want to be part of something that's bigger than themselves. And quite frankly, there's no better place than Detroit for young people to be a part of something that is really, I think, at the beginning of what it can be through the decades to come. And there's legacy issues, no matter what age you are, that you start thinking about, what impact do I want to be able to look back and say I was part of that? And I think for a lot of young professionals, Detroit's that story.
The new facility, it's got to be a big draw for the workforce. I think it's also going to be a draw for housing, people who want to live close to where they work and be a part of this new community.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And for different reasons, for people that are in the lower side of the income scale, being able to have safe, good, solid housing that they can walk and not have to rely on transit for their job is huge. For researchers that'll join us from all over the world, researchers by their very nature, they like to go in and out and check on their research at different times of day, and they like to live close to those research facilities. And these are higher paying professional jobs that also want to support good restaurants and good cultural enterprises and things like that. So, all of this has a beneficiary beyond the core.
There's so much going on in the world, but the midterms are coming up in November, and healthcare is going to be a big issue. We got too much going on right now to talk about it, but it's right there. We all know it. Is this country ready to address the healthcare situation?
You know what? I think that we need to. I can't speak to whether it's ready, but the impact that healthcare economics are having on the overall life balance for individuals is just a really significant issue. And so we have to be ready. Excuse me. And I think that there's a growing movement of healthcare providers, policymakers, insurance companies, pharma that are all willing to get to the table and say, let's do some redesign. Let's hit a reset button and let's take the many, many things that are great about healthcare and make sure that we preserve them, because we have great healthcare in this state. But let's also come up with an affordability model that will work for all. And I think you're going to see a lot of effort. I think what I'm looking for in the midterms, though, is that the politicians of both parties help us solve a public health issue, and that's civility. Lead by example. We have got to get back to civility, and we have got to get away from these issues that are role modeling the wrong behaviors and making people stressed and anxious on a daily basis. It's not healthy, nor is it productive.
Yeah, we have 4 governors, past governors, who are getting together to do just that, talk about civility and how to work together. And I think that's important. And I hope that we see that on the national level, because I think we're going to need that to solve some of these problems. And there's no red and blue on healthcare. We all need affordable healthcare.
No, everyone needs affordable healthcare, and disease does not carry any preference for whether you are a Republican or a Democrat. The best way to counter disease is that we align around the right preventions and the right approaches for care. And so this nonsense of making healthcare a political football instead of a public health football is just that, nonsense.
Bob Roney, President and CEO of Henry Ford Health. We love what you're doing in the community, and you've been such a great friend to WJR. We appreciate that as well. Good luck at the policy conference, and thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's always a great pleasure, and WJR is a part of the story of Detroit's past and its future.
All right, quick break. It's All Talk. I'm Kevin Dietz.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too. Newsmax has been terrific.
President Trump is right. Millions like you are tuning into Newsmax. You're watching Newsmax on cable. You're going to our streaming channel, Newsmax 2. And you're downloading our free Newsmax app on your smartphones and TVs. Reuters Institute says we're now one of the top news brands in the nation. Every night, watch great shows with Rob Schmidt, Carl Higbie, Rob Finnerty, and more as they expose the big media lies, the Washington swamp, and they're never afraid to talk about faith, freedom, and the values that made us great. Find out why Newsmax is the fastest growing news channel in America. Make the switch today and join our news revolution. Get Newsmax on cable, on streaming, and download the free app today. It takes just seconds to start. Let President Trump know you stand with Newsmax. It's for real news, for real people. Make the switch today.
Winter weather can be dangerous. When businesses and stores do nothing to protect you from a slip and fall, they're responsible when you get hurt. At Michigan Slip and Fall Lawyers, we protect you. Go to falllaw.com for your free consultation. That's falllaw.com.
Finding excuses to not do your taxes? Unsure where to start? Sounds like you may be suffering from FOMO, the fear of messing up. The cure? Filing your federal and state taxes for free using TurboTax on Credit Karma. All you have to do is start and finish filing on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th. Just keep in mind, this offer is available only if you didn't file with TurboTax last year. It's time to break free from your fear of messing up. Start filing for free today in the Credit Karma app.
Your morning is busy, so we'll keep it brief. Upgrade your routine with WJR's 5 Things First Thing. JR Morning with Chris, Lloyd, and Jamie break down the top 5 stories in just 5 minutes. Delivered straight to your device. Start your day by hitting play. Subscribe today on the always free WJR app.
Border Czar Tom Homan speaking about ICE enforcement operation in Minneapolis.
I'm staying till the problem's gone.
Adding,
everybody I talked to agreed on. But the community safety is paramount.
Homan described a new deal.
What we did agree upon is not to release public safety arrests back in the community, and they could be lawfully transferred to ICE.
Fox's Matt Finn explains.
Pivotal change. Tom Homan saying that the state attorney general here in Minnesota, Keith Ellison, says that jails can notify ICE when they are about to release a wanted criminal illegal alien.
Authorities say 16 individuals who violently assaulted federal officers and property in the state have now been arrested. And Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar announcing she's running for governor. She wants to replace the incumbent, Tim Walz, who's not running for re-election. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Save more on the brands pros trust at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances, plus save $100 on a Little Giant 22-foot multi-position ladder, now just $189. Valid through 1/30 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
On the Southfield Freeway southbound before McNichols, a crash is taking up the 2 left lanes. Traffic's backed up to 8 Mile. Northbound Van Dyke between Martin and 12 Mile. Right lane closed there today and tomorrow, 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. And westbound 24 Mile between Jewel and Van Dyke, that also remains closed until later tomorrow. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Partly cloudy and cold today, a high of 16. Right now, it's 14. Bitterly cold temperatures again tonight, a low of -1. Mix of clouds and sunshine tomorrow, high of 15. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
You know, I was doing a podcast with Chris Alberta from Principium talking about planning for retirement, and boy, did he bring home a great point. How important is timing here when you look at the fixed rate markets? Do I have a window to work with here, or should I move pretty quickly to lock in those higher rates?
Well, there is a window, and I don't think that window is incredibly short. We don't need to create urgency where none is necessary. However, if I was somebody who knew I was going to retire in the next 2-3 years, I would be building a plan today. Your job could be gone via cuts, via AI interference, via efficiencies that big corporations are bringing in the next couple of years, even prior to you being ready to retire. So if you're that guy or gal who's been looking at walking away and your 401k is at an all-time high and you have a pension lump sum buyout or something along those lines, I can't do better instrumentation-wise than what I can do today. I know it will be worse 6 months from now than it is today. And it was better 6 months ago than it is today. So now is a great time.
Call Chris Alberta today, 888-800-8949. That's 888-800-8949.
Be sure to start every Sunday at 8 a.m. with JR Sunday with Mark Hollis. Great interviews and conversations all in one place on JR Sunday with Mark Hollis, sponsored by Tryon, your payroll and HR solution. To learn more and to reach out to Tryon, go to RelyOnTryon.com.
Catch WJR's groundbreaking NewSportscaster.com's Open Mic, which features sports commentary and stories from the next generation of sports broadcasters. Hosted by Johnny Kane, airing Wednesdays from 8 to 9 p.m. right here on WJR.
The American Red Cross is facing a severe blood shortage. Donors are needed now to make sure patients across the country receive life-saving care. There's no time to wait. Make an appointment today to give blood by using the Blood Donor app, visiting redcrossblood.org, or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS to schedule your donation.
You're listening to All Talk on WJR. It's the Detroit Regional Chamber's Detroit Policy Conference. Once again from the department at the new Hudson's Tower. Here's Kevin Dietz.
This time at the Detroit Policy Conference, people in a great mood down here. It's a good opportunity to see everybody again after the holidays. And people don't agree on everything, but they are happy to get together to disagree with civility. And gosh, we love seeing that. Jobs are the backbone of any economic plan, and DESC sits at the intersection of opportunity and workforce reality. So talent pipelines, they don't happen by accident. You have to work at them. They require coordination, trust, and investment. And joining us now is Dana Williams, president of Detroit Employment Solutions Corporation. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Kevin. Great to be here.
It is so great to see you. This is really a great spot for you to be, right? This is an opportunity where you can listen to the speakers and you can take in a lot of great information, but you also get the opportunity to go say hello, shake hands, and say, hey, have you thought about this?
Exactly. And being here is actually some of our work coming to fruition in a tangible form. So Detroit at Work is the system that DESC has the opportunity to lead on behalf of the mayor and now her Workforce Development Board.
Yes.
And we were involved in the very early stages of the construction of this building, helping get Detroiters to get the skills that they need to rebuild a historical landmark in our city. So super special. Great to be here this morning.
Yeah, talk a little bit about this place and what it means, because this is the first time the conference has been here. And just walking in this morning, I just got this wonderful feel. I said, I'm here. I'm at Hudson's.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to call my mom after the show.
Yes, and I'm a native Detroiter as well, so this is really special. I can remember where there was almost nothing right here, where it was almost just concrete, and we would walk through it and not be able to walk into anything. And so this really is the physical embodiment of the great economic development, workforce development kind of synergies coming together, and business really leaning in and investing in Detroit, recognizing what we've got here. It's a jewel.
Do you remember walking by and pointing at the brick building and saying, well, that's where Hudson's was.
Yes.
That's where everyone went to see Santa Claus. That's where it was. And then do you remember the implosion day?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that implosion day where it came down, it was exciting that this thing was happening, but it was sad too.
Absolutely. I almost cried that day watching it on TV.
Yeah.
That was rough. Yeah.
And now fast forward to come down here, and people are coming in droves to come check this place out. And no one that I've talked to is disappointed about what they have done here.
Not at all the way from the beautiful aspects of the building itself to the pop-up vendors that are downstairs and outside. It's really exciting, and it's great that they've opened the building in such a way to make it so public so that anybody can walk in and experience it.
And I think it's a great story for the rest of the country to say, hey, look at what we're doing. We're creating spaces in Detroit that are here to last, and we mean business about bringing business in.
That's right. And our city leadership has been really intentional about making sure that Detroiters are the first ones to get the crack at the opportunities that are coming out of here. So in addition to, helping to build the building in some way to have those relationships, we're talking to, for instance, the folks who will be operating a couple of restaurants that'll be here too, right? Completely different career path for Detroiters, something a little bit more creative, but still very cool, and it makes it real for us.
People are talking about the diversity of restaurants in Detroit. People are saying, I can't just go to Detroit 3 times a year. I have to go regularly because there's so many interesting places to eat, so many different kinds of food.
Yeah.
And the reviews are unbelievable.
We're becoming a foodie town,
right?
And, as somebody who likes to eat, I'm okay with that.
I am too. Look out, Las Vegas.
Right, that's right.
Let's talk about the DESC. What is the mission as you see it?
So our mission is to ensure that Detroiters are connected to the opportunities that come here to the city. And primarily for us, that is through jobs and other economic empowerment initiatives. So we have the chance to operate Detroit at Work career systems in the city. So no Detroiter right now is more than 3 miles away from help with employment and training. In addition to that, we're also connected to the employers and help them understand what Detroiters are looking for when they're looking for jobs.
How has Detroit's workforce changed, and how does it need to where does it need to go next?
So, of course, for a long time, this city was no doubt a manufacturing town, a strong labor town, still is that, but pandemic really shifted things. And in addition to those kind of strongholds that we've got in terms of interest, we also have a lot of folks that are interested in small business and entrepreneurship, a lot of folks who are now looking for remote or virtual opportunities, and especially for today, chances to work in innovation and tech. That is growing. We're kind of a tech boho town, if you will.
We are, and we have jobs here. We don't always have people to fill them. So how do we go about getting our people ready to fill these great jobs?
Yeah, that is really the point of the Detroit at Work system. So we want to make sure that Detroiters are ready. So we do that a few ways. One is certainly just having relationships with today about 4,000 employers in the city of all sizes. I can also tell you a lot of those businesses are small, and that's where a lot of people tend to work. Our commercial corridors and the small business owners and the legacy operators who've been here for a long time. The second piece of that, of course, is to make sure that we've got skills training program that are what those employers are looking for at the right time.
I feel like we've been telling that story for a little bit of time now, not forever, for a little bit of time, but enough time that our policymakers, our elected officials, they know what we need. Do we feel like they're ready to make the moves that are necessary to make it happen?
It's a very good point. And it's a tricky needle to thread, right? We've got to balance all the needs that people have today. And still here in the city, we do have quite a few folks that are living in a real tough financial position, truly at the poverty ring. And so if you don't have your basic needs met, it's hard to get up every day and go to work. And so investing in things like public safety as well as in housing is just as important, and maybe even more so at the start, as we continue to make sure that the right jobs are here and people have the skills that they need. Another piece of focus today, which I love, is around education.
Yeah.
Because it's all about that.
Yeah.
Without that foundation, people won't have the talent that we need to keep growing like Detroit consistently has. So love the focus on that as well.
And I think we need options in education.
Yeah.
We need to get everybody through high school.
Yes.
And then we have to give them really good options about whether they want to go to college or community college, or whether they want to go to trade school, or any other number of options that are out there. Are people in high school realizing all the options that are just right there if they can finish up and finish high school?
So the resources, especially here in Detroit for Detroit youth, are definitely out there. That is another one of our goals, is to make sure that young people have a post-secondary plan. To your point, whatever that might be. You're going to go to the military. You're going to join the union and get some training. You're going to go straight to work. You're going to go to college, right? But just knowing what those 4 or 5 pathways are and the steps to do it is the key. So we do a lot of conversations with not only DPSCD, but starting to talk to some of our charters. And we operate a council with higher ed as well to help them understand and help us understand what those pathways are for Detroiters as well.
There's an old movie called The Graduate. You're too young for it, but they in that line, there's a famous line that says, "Where's the future?" And they say, "Plastics, plastics." Where are you telling people the future is in Detroit?
Well, we operate under a system where we're trying to get folks into really 5 industries, right? One of those is certainly manufacturing. Included in manufacturing, though, today, to your point, is mobility. And that's the movement of either people, goods, or energy. So that moves into the clean energy spot, solar installation, things like that, in addition to our standard manufacturing operations that are always going to be here, but also is IT. And, because Bob Riley and a lot of other folks are here, healthcare is still real big. And those are really some of the largest areas that we're focusing on for Detroiters right now.
Yeah, well, I got to let you go so you can go talk to all these people. You got all these movers and shakers here. And I'm spending all your time here.
No, this is good.
Dana Williams, President, Detroit Employment Solutions Corporation. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the work you do. And you do a wonderful job telling the story. We got to get you back on.
Sounds good, Kevin. Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. It's All Talk. I'm Kevin Dietz.
Now WJR Health Watch. Here's Lloyd Jackson.
When we hear the word rehab, we often think of a one-size-fits-all solution, but addiction medicine has evolved from inpatient stay to virtual care.
If inpatient detoxification is required for safety, that's one thing. Then we look at the person and, where do you live? What is your transportation? What is your work schedule, your parenting schedule? And we try to craft a plan that works for the patient. We often will include virtual care so that it's really quite easy for them to have an appointment with us.
That's Dr. Joshua Smith, a physician of addiction medicine at Henry Ford Maple Grove Addiction Treatment Center. He says at Maple Grove, they treat the mental and emotional roots of addiction, not just the physical symptoms.
We have a whole team of therapists, both inpatient and outpatient, who can focus on sort of the ongoing therapeutic needs of the patients. We have peer recovery coaches who don't have a specific degree, but have a lifetime of experience in addiction and recovery and just want to give back to other people.
Dr. Smith says when rehab is brought up to some, fear sets in, and you get those who feel they're not sick enough for rehab.
I would say generally, if you're asking the question whether or not you're sick enough that you need some help, you probably do. But this is the kind of disease that typically is rooted in denial. We lie to ourselves constantly. And usually the last person to see the addiction is the patient who is addicted.
For more information on addiction services at Henry Ford Maple Grove, call 248-661-6100. I'm Lloyd Jackson for WJR Health Watch.
Join Kelly Cobb and Jarrett Skurup along with special guests as they tackle the issues Michigan residents are thinking about. On the Mackinac on Michigan show this Thursday night at 7. They take a deep dive on the issues that affect every resident and business owner in the state. What will you need to know? Find out on the Mackinac on Michigan show this Thursday at 7 p.m. The Mackinac on Michigan show is presented by the Frank Beckman Center for Journalism and the Mackinac Center for Public Policy.
This weekend is the Troy Home Show at the San Marino Club on Big Beaver. Some of the best home improvement companies in Michigan at the Troy Home Show. See TroyHomeshow.com. And coming up, Downriver Home Show and the new Ann Arbor Home Show. See MichiganHomeshows.com.
Are you stuck staring at your W-2? Are tax refund worries holding you back? You probably have FOMO, the fear of messing up. The fix? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. It's time to overcome your fear of messing up and get your taxes done right. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Listen to a special edition of the Inside Outside Guys, Saturday noon to 1, highlighting the upcoming Great Lakes Design and Construction Expo, sponsored by the Construction Association of Michigan, CAM, highlighting Michigan's residential and commercial construction industry. For your housing information, visit theinsideoutsideguys.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Refresh your bathroom with big savings at Lowe's. Reimagine your bathroom and get up to 40% off select faucets during Lowe's Bath Savings event and transform your space while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
The Southfield Freeway southbound before McNichols still have a crash taking up 2 left lanes. Traffic's backed up to 8 Mile. Northbound Van Dyke between Martin and 12 Mile. Right lane closed for construction today and tomorrow, 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. And westbound 24 Mile between Jewel and Van Dyke. That closure expected to wrap up tomorrow. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
The frigid air staying in place will continue to push numbers below 20 degrees for the next few days. Upper teens today with increasing clouds. Tonight, some clouds around will hover down into the single digits below zero. Wind chills will make it feel even colder. Sunny as we wrap up the week Friday, highs will be just above 10 degrees, with below zero readings once again at night, and then Saturday, partly sunny in the upper teens. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicon, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law, Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
It's All Talk on a chilly Thursday morning. I'm Kevin Dietz. We are live from the Detroit Policy Conference inside the beautiful department at Hudson's in downtown Detroit. You can learn more about the conference at chamber.com/DPC. A local government shapes daily life more than anything else, I think. Detroit City Council plays a huge role in growth and accountability. We all know policy decisions made locally ripple outward and affect all of our communities. So leadership really matters at moments like this. And joining us now is James Tate Jr., President of Detroit City Council. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, I appreciate you being here. It's been too long since we've chatted. I go back, I don't know how many decades ago. You were the PIO at DPD, and I was hanging around trying to get a story. I'm glad to see all the success that you've had throughout your career, and I think Detroit is really better off for it. So we do appreciate all the hard work you've put in all of these years. So we're at this conference, and it's fabulous. We got people are happy to see each other. People are stopping and chatting each other up in the hallways. People are seeing each other face to face, and I think that's a good thing, because I think there are so many really important issues right in front of us. But nobody really wants to budge on them too much. But when you're standing face to face, it gets a lot easier to move a little bit towards the middle, I think.
Yeah, I think in addition to getting a little closer to the middle, it also lets you know that the person who you may have opposition with ideologically is actually a person. And it gives you a chance to kind of break down the ice and have those discussions, those conversations that are a lot easier, to bang on a keyboard and say, how much you can't stand that person and that thing. But when you have an opportunity to sit down and talk to them, you realize there's so much more you agree on than those, handful of things that you disagree on.
Detroit has so much momentum going right now. Everywhere I go, people are saying great things about Detroit. And so that's to be applauded. When you look at continuing that momentum, where do you see the priorities right now? What should Detroit be prioritizing right now?
Well, Kevin, I'm very proud of all the work that my colleagues and I, various mayors, certainly Mayor Duggan as the most recent mayor, and my council colleagues have been able to accomplish over, certainly during my time on council since 2010. What we're looking at now is trying to, how do we continue this momentum going? What are new sectors that are going to allow us to identify revenue streams that have to supplant revenue streams that we once had and were very plentiful. But because of this very uncertain economy, it's changed the dynamic of what we have available to work with. So we're finding new partners, philanthropic partners, business partners, then also making sure that we're educating residents of the city of Detroit on what the true state of the city is. While we do see, a lot of this progress that's moving, it is a situation where we've got to continue to strategize and make sure that we stay ahead of the curve. So having an opportunity where we have reserves to the point where we have now $150 million, while it may sound like a huge amount, and it is significant, it's put aside. It's been put aside. Well, it gave us an opportunity to think ahead in advance for this type of day that's here. So as we move forward again, got to identify new sectors, new opportunities for revenue for our city. That's not just regressive in terms of tax, but we can't turn our back on that either, because again, we are a major city and we have to figure out how to provide the best services that we can with the amount of limitations that have been placed before us.
I remember back a decade or so ago, and you do too, probably longer than that actually, but council used to fight like cats and dogs. They'd fight with the mayor, they'd fight with each other. It has been really a good, strong relationship in the last decade. Not to say that everybody agrees on everything, because they don't, but it does seem like the council really has been rowing in the same general direction. Do you see that happening moving forward?
I absolutely do. And I'm, part of the reason why I decided to run for Detroit City Council president is to keep that continuity flowing within our body. And it's actually a blessing to have a former member, my colleague, council president at the time, Mary Sheffield, now Mayor Sheffield. So she understands that dynamic from our side of things. And while, again, great relationship with Mayor Duggan, there's always opportunities to improve relationships with your legislative body. And having now, again, the former leader of our legislative body of city council, now as the mayor, there's high expectations on all of our all sides, council as well as the mayor executive branch. So looking forward to, getting all those plans. We've had meetings thus far. We're very aligned. I'm very proud of the items that she's put forward thus far. And, city council, we're working on our legislative agenda, which will be having the framework by the end of this year. I know it sounds like a long time from now, but you're talking about 9 council members. And we want to make sure during a 4-year term that we're able to set forward with the community what we're looking to do, but also with our colleagues. And it creates a level of transparency for ourselves as well as the constituents to see exactly what we're doing and not just what they're hearing about what we're doing.
How do you see the state of the financial situation for the city of Detroit? You talked about $150 million in a rainy day fund, sort of. It can rain pretty hard sometimes, unexpectedly. How do you see our situation financially?
Again, right now, when we start talking about the federal funds that we had an opportunity to enjoy and really put into great use over the years, those funds don't exist anymore. It's at a point where we've now got to be even more creative than we've been in the past, but we're determined to do that. As I mentioned, we had the foresight a number of years ago to start planning for this moment while we were digging out of the bankruptcy hole, the financial hole that we were in. The bankruptcy allowed us to restructure our debt, and in doing so, we were able to now put more emphasis on the services and not our creditors. And so, as a result of that, we now can look forward while we, build this plane while we're flying it, and not just solely focus on today's, hemorrhaging, and see how we can stop that bleeding.
Yeah, how can council support economic growth in this city?
Yeah, one way is I would say continue to support development that's taking place that encourages jobs, mass jobs, so that provides us with income tax. I know that's a bad phrase for some folks, but when you look at the city of Detroit, we almost half of our revenues come from property taxes and income taxes. So that's one way to continue to do that. The other way is to continue to build on some of our ARPA programs that we had, American Rescue Plan Act programs, where we upskilled Detroiters. We've got to identify a way to increase the incomes of residents in the city of Detroit. And we can't just wave a magic wand to do so, can't snap our fingers to make it happen. We've got to put some real sweat equity into it and investment. So as we have these projects that are moving in the city of Detroit, we've got to make sure we've got residents who are able to participate in the construction of those particular projects, as well as the project afterwards. And those jobs that are taking place afterwards, they've got to be a living wage, to ensure that they are not further pushed out of the norm of what we want to see our residents live in.
Absolutely. We have a great story to tell, and it's going to make people want to move into the city of Detroit. It's going to make businesses want to come into the city of Detroit. It's going to keep people from leaving. James Tate, thank you for the work you're doing. Congratulations on being president of Detroit City Council.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Great to hear from you again.
All right. Talk again soon. It's All Talk. I'm Kevin Dietz.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
My name is Kamal Shohaib. I am the owner of Choice Properties and the Choice Group, and we do business in 5 states. We started dealing with Treon about 10 years ago, and they were highly recommended. We like to deal with companies that care about the community that they do business with, and we feel Treon does that because we witnessed the wonderful things that they do for the community on so many levels.
And that is why we rely on Treon.
You can always rely on Treon. Catch WJR's groundbreaking newsportscaster.com's Open Mic, which features sports commentary and stories from the next generation of sports broadcasters. Hosted by Johnny Kane, airing Wednesdays from 8 to 9 p.m. right here on WJR.
Custom built for Detroit. 760 WJR. This is the great voice of the Great Lakes. 760 WJR. Detroit. A Cumulus media station.
We're about to hear from President Trump and his entire cabinet. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. With immigration enforcement and the economy big issues, they're all about to meet at the White House, where Fox's Rich Edson reports.
Brand new Fox News polling shows there's more concern with the way the administration is handling immigration or these raids. Nearly 60% of voters say ICE efforts are too aggressive. That's a 10 percentage point increase from this summer. The president has also been talking more about the economy. Fox News polling shows voters with a slightly improving view of it, but still overwhelmingly negative. 30% now call it excellent or good. 70% describe it as either fair or poor.
And there's a big stock market sell-off this morning. Now to Minnesota.
You can't fix problems if you don't have discussions.
And Borders' Tom Holman, now in charge of immigration enforcement there, says he's had good talks with Democrats.
The hostile rhetoric and dangerous threats and hate must stop.
Urging anti-ICE protesters to be peaceful as ICE operations continue, targeting those here illegally who commit crimes. And Fox's Jeff Manasso reports.
There's an agreement with numerous local and state leaders that local jails have agreed not to release criminal illegal immigrants, or what he called public safety threats, back onto the streets, that they will now communicate with ICE.
More agents in the jail means less agents in the street. This is common sense cooperation that allows to draw down.
Attorney General Pam Bondi announced this morning 16 people are charged in Minnesota with assaulting federal officers or damaging federal property. President Trump posted on Truth Social this morning another claim he won the 2020 election, that it was crooked. The day after an FBI raid in Fulton County, Georgia, Fox's David Spunt reports.
Sources tell Fox that agents retrieved documents, phones, computers, ballot boxes after a judge signed a warrant. President Trump has long made Georgia and Fulton County a target of his complaints.
Democratic State Senator Josh McLaurin calls it alarming.
This is an order from on high to try to disrupt Fulton County's election administration just because Donald Trump is still mad that he lost the 2020 election.
America's listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by King's Hawaiian Sliders. Nothing brings friends and family together on game day like delicious King's Hawaiian Sliders. Bring them to the big game table and be the real MVP. Pick some up this weekend in the bakery or deli section of your local store. Football and King's Irresistible Hawaiian Sliders. There's nothing like it.
Southfield Freeway southbound between 8 Mile and McNichols. An accident there has cleared traffic, still very slow through that stretch. Northbound Van Dyke between Martin and 12 Mile. Right lane closed there today and tomorrow, 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. And westbound 24 Mile between Jewel and Van Dyke. That's closed for construction till later on tomorrow afternoon. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Partly cloudy, cold today, a high of 16. Right now, it's 15. Bitterly cold temps overnight tonight with a low of -1. A mix of clouds and sunshine tomorrow and a high of 15. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
There's no championship league for small business owners. But if there was, you'd be at the top of the standings. Because going pro with Lenovo Pro means you've got the winning formation, one-on-one advice, IT solutions, and customized hardware powered by Intel Core Ultra processors help you stay ahead of the competition. Business goes pro with Lenovo Pro. Sign up for free at lenovo.com/pro.
Lenovo. Not sure how to tackle your taxes? Are you sweating the small print? You may be experiencing FOMO, the fear of messing up. The answer? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it, with a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. It's time to take your taxes to the max. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
No matter the time of the year, it's good for the mind, body, and soul to get out there. Luckily, we're in Michigan, one of the most beautiful places in the country. I'm Dave Lorenz. Join us Sunday at 4 for the Michigan Travel Show here on 760 WJR.
From the department at Hudson's, bringing you coverage of the Detroit Regional Chamber's 2026 Detroit Policy Conference. This is All Talk with Kevin Dietz on 760 WJR. Here's Kevin.
And welcome. Oh, hello.
You're hearing the great voice of the Great Lakes, 760 WJR. From the Golden Tower of the Fisher Building in the auto capital of the world, this is the great voice of the Great Lakes, 760 WJR.
WJR welcomes the Sing a Song All Night Long. The tour continues with legendary singer-songwriter and producer Lionel Richie and one of the best-selling bands of all time, Earth, Wind & Fire, to Little Caesars Arena July 1st. You could win tickets from WJR. Text keyword SING to 800-859-0957. It's sponsored by Live Nation. Find official rules at WJR.com. Tickets available for purchase starting at 10 a.m. Friday, January 30th at Ticketmaster. 760 WJR and the Detroit Economic Club are pleased to welcome Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson to our podium Thursday, February 5th at the Masonic Temple in Detroit. She'll share powerful stories from her rise in politics as well as those of paradigm shifters throughout history to demonstrate how we're all purposeful warriors who have power to define a better world. Catch Focus noon till 2 as we broadcast live. Special coverage is sponsored by DFCU Financial. For tickets and more information, visit econclub.org.
Who wouldn't love a night of laughter with a purpose? Join the Salvation Army of Metro Detroit February 11th at Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle for Comedy for a Cause, featuring comedian Paul Mercurio. Tickets are just $60 with proceeds benefiting the Bed and Bread program, helping Detroiters in need. Buy tickets today at sametrodetroit.org. And don't forget to catch the Salvation Army's 39th annual Bed and Bread Club Radiothon on February 26th and 27th on 760 WJR.
No matter where you look, rising costs are hitting Michiganders hard. When you're forced to make tough choices, keeping the lights and heat on shouldn't be one of them. Consumers Energy is stepping up, giving back $5 million to assistance agencies and supporting efforts to increase energy assistance dollars for families in need by 50%. And with personalized energy saving programs, you can take steps to start reducing your energy bills today. Count on Consumers Energy for support. Learn more at consumersenergy.com/help.
Every day, unsung heroes are transforming our neighborhoods. And 760 WJR's Michigan Voices with me, Marie Osborne, is here to tell their stories. But we need your help to find them. Do you know a local nonprofit or other community organization making an impact? Help us shine a spotlight on their work. Email the details to michiganvoices@wjr.com. Let's join forces to amplify the people building a better Michigan. Michigan Voices, Sunday mornings at 5:30, only on 760 WJR.
From the department at Hudson's, bringing you coverage of the Detroit Regional Chamber's 2026 Detroit Policy Conference. This is All Talk with Kevin Dietz on 760 WJR. Here's Kevin.
And welcome into the 11 o'clock hour of All Talk. I'm Kevin Dietz. We are live from the Detroit Policy Conference inside the department at Hudson's. What a beautiful location right here in downtown Detroit. You can learn more by going to chamber.com/DPC. Boy, you look around this room, it's unbelievable. This is not just another gathering of smart people talking about the future. This is Michigan in real time deciding what comes next, because policy really only matters if it produces progress, and progress only happens when leaders show up face to face and start moving in the same direction. That is what is happening here at the Detroit Policy Conference. People coming together, chatting, talking about what's important to them, and really talking about how to move forward. It's an important day for Detroit, and it's going really, really well. Marie Osborne is with us, keeping an eye on the big stories, and joins us now. Good morning, Marie.
And good morning, Kevin. President Trump spoke at a star-studded event
hosted by the Treasury Department on Wednesday to celebrate the launch of Trump accounts this summer. The program will give eligible newborns an investment account with $1,000 in seed money, and the president says that could grow with families contributing to their kids' funds.
For the first time ever, we're going to give every newborn American child a financial stake in the future, head start at life, and a fair shot at the American dream, something people don't talk about so much, at least not for the last 4 years they haven't been, but now they're talking about it. And with every modest contribution, Trump accounts should reach at least $50,000 in value by the time the child turns 18, and could be very substantially more than that. Every president in modern history has left our children with nothing but debt. But under this administration, we're going to leave every child with real assets and a shot at financial freedom.
The president says he believes this initiative will be remembered as, quote, one of the most transformative policy innovations of all time. Critics argue that the accounts will do little to help children in their early years and could actually widen inequality, particularly when coupled with the administration's sweeping cuts to Medicaid and other services for low-income families.
Yeah, one of the national banks announced that they're going to match that $1,000 as well. So if the president's right and that grew to $50,000 by the time a child is 18, that would double that to $100,000 by the time the child is 18, which could really, really help out. President Donald Trump is holding his 10th cabinet meeting today, surpassing his predecessor with domestic issues dominating the agenda. Immigration is front and center following unrest in Minneapolis. A new poll is out showing 59% of Americans say ICE is too aggressive in deportations. As borders are, Tom Holman holds a press conference in Minneapolis. Trump is sharply criticizing the city's mayor for refusing to enforce federal immigration law. The president is also naming his first ever fraud czar, Colin McDonald, a move expected to have major implications for Minnesota. And pressure continues to build on DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, with at least 2 Republican senators publicly calling for her resignation. The economy is also in focus as the Federal Reserve holds rates steady, and now new jobless claims are being released. Donald Trump is expected again to promote those Trump accounts you just talked about, and it's going to be a very, very busy and probably a very, very long cabinet meeting today. Marie?
First Lady Melania Trump telling Fox about her new movie coming out. It's called Melania, and it gives an inside look into the 20 days leading up to the second inauguration of her husband, President Trump, last year, as her role as First Lady. She says audiences will get to see a different side of her that they haven't seen before.
How I work, who I am, how I communicate with people, and they will know me a little bit more. They know I'm a very private person and I'm a very selective person. What I do, what I don't do, when I talk, when I don't talk. Whatever I did, the cameras were following me. So from morning till evening, and everything what I needed to do, organizing, moving back to the White House, my family, preparing for inauguration, my business, my philanthropy.
Melania is directed by Brett Ratner, and it hits theaters tomorrow.
The shutdown clock is ticking. A federal shutdown now appears increasingly likely, but this one would look very different from the last one we went through. Unlike the fall shutdown, this would be a partial shutdown with roughly 22% of the government funded. That still leaves most agencies impacted, including the Pentagon, DHS, and other essential services. FEMA aid could freeze in the middle of a severe winter, while service members, TSA workers, and air traffic controllers would be required to continue working without pay. SNAP benefits would continue because the Department of Agriculture was funded last fall. The IRS is unfunded just as tax season begins, though officials say refunds should still go out in a shutdown. If the shutdown drags into mid-February, workers could miss full paychecks, reigniting fears from the last prolonged shutdown. Marie?
And Shirley Raines, a social media creator and nonprofit founder who dedicated her life to caring for people experiencing homelessness, has died. Her organization, Beauty to the Streets, made the announcement. She was just 58 years old. Cause of death was not released. Raines was known as Miss Shirley to her more than 5 million TikTok followers and to the people who regularly lined up for food, beauty treatments, and hygiene supplies she brought to Los Angeles's Skid Row, and other homeless communities in California and in Nevada. Again, Rain's cause of death was not released, but her organization said it would share additional information when it became available.
We're live from the Detroit Policy Conference at the beautiful department at Hudson's. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. It's All Talk. I'm Kevin Dietz.
Save more on the brands pros trust at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances and choose from our wide lineup of top brands. Plus, save $100 on a Little Giant 22-foot multi-position ladder, now just $189. Built for strength, flexibility, and job site versatility. Pros, these savings will only be here for a limited time. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 1/30 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
Well, it's wintertime out there, and this is the time of year we get some very specific emails at the InsideOutsideGuys.com. Like, why can't I keep my home warm?
Or why are my windows full of condensation? Ken and I have answers to all of those things, and most of them are found in the experts that we refer to people.
We'll give you advice, but if the advice doesn't help, we have great professionals at the Inside Outside Guys. No matter what time of year it is, for housing information you can trust, go to the InsideOutsideGuys.com.
Sponsored by Amnesty Air Duct Cleaning and Insulation.
Want to know how to save on those energy bills? Amnesty Air Duct Cleaning and Insulation offers a way to save more than if you had new insulation, programmable thermostats, and even new windows. Amnesty's AeroSeal duct sealing system will seal your air ducts from the inside, giving your home or business equal airflow throughout. No more hot or cold rooms. Trusted by Michigan homeowners to the top hospital systems, Amnesty's AeroSeal has revolutionized the way to save on those pesky energy costs. Get a free estimate today at Amnesty.com. That's Amnesty.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Guess what? Discover's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. You heard right, 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face facts. You're stuck in the past. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report, learn more at discover.com/creditcard.
Southbound 75 at Sashabon. Accidents taking up the two left lanes. Traffic's backed up to Ortonville Road. Northbound Van Dyke between Martin and 12 Mile Bright Lane is closed there today and tomorrow, 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. And westbound 24 Mile between Jewel and Van Dyke completely closed until tomorrow afternoon. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
Good news is that no more precipitation with the cold air. The bad news is the cold air is getting even colder. As we're seeing here this morning, believe it or not, next couple of mornings even colder. We'll go through the day with increasing clouds. 15 tonight, single digits below zero. Coldest readings outside of town. Tomorrow about 12, mostly sunny. And then below zero again tomorrow night. Setting us up for a chilly Saturday, but slightly better. Partly sunny upper teens. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicon, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Paul W. Smith delivers powerhouse interviews, real-time insight, and the sharp commentary listeners count on. Paul is smart, fast, and always ahead of the curve. Focus, noon till 2 on 760 WJR.
It's All Talk on a Thursday morning. I'm Kevin Dietz. We are live from the Detroit Policy Conference inside the gorgeous department at Hudson's in downtown Detroit. You can learn more by going to chamber.com/DPC. Former Mayor Mike Duggan just finished speaking. He's running for governor, of course, and it was a well-attended session here at the Policy Conference as really all the movers and shakers are here face-to-face. Some get along great. Others don't get along at all, but all of them are here together to talk civilly about what they'd like to see and where they'd like to see Michigan grow. And there is such a great story to tell here in Detroit, here in Southeast Michigan, and really the entire state. And that's what they're trying to do here at this conference is create policy and opportunities for Michigan to just get better and better and better. I want to turn your attention to mobility and innovation. It's redefining Detroit. Michigan Central is absolutely at the heart of that transformation. No better story this decade than Michigan Central. It's brought global attention, and it's focused here in the Motor City, and it's all good, positive attention. And to be honest with you, what's being built right now, it's not only going to set the next decade here in Michigan, it's going to set the next few decades in the entire world. That's the kind of things they're working on here. And joining us now is Mark DeLaverne, Head of Network Growth at Michigan Central. And thank you for joining us.
No, thanks for having me, and those really kind words to start things out.
Well, what a great spot to be, honestly. I mean, you talk about hope and optimism, and that location is that it just screams it.
Yeah, it's hard to have a bad day working there. And I think whether it was when we just first opened the station in June 24 to the groups from cities across the world that come through to tour. No one's ever been like, no, that was okay, right? Like, it's just like this place where people can see big things to happen, but also just see like what was there, and are just like marveled at like this beautiful station and new lab, just two different buildings, but just how remarkable and unique they are, not just in Detroit, but in the country.
Yeah, it's great because we've had that story to tell, and the entire country focused in and said, wow, look at what's going on in Detroit. Now today we're sitting in the Hudsons, which is another phenomenal story to tell. And it's hard when you're talking about recruiting people to come to the state, to work in the state. They can no longer think, well, Detroit's not for real. It's not really. I mean, it could not be more real. There are solid examples of why this region is for real.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that you continue to see, the draft, I think, was a huge one of those proof points as well. But, just the perception of the city, and it's not just one thing, right? It is all these different things. And it's, the big things like Michigan Central and Hudson's and everything Bedrock has done. To just like seeing streetscapes in neighborhoods, right, that the mayor did, and just sort of seeing main streets that have been created over the last 10, 12 years. So it's, but a lot of people still have a perception of Detroit of what it was. They'd see pictures in 2012 and are just, shocked. But the amount of cities, particularly last year, I mean, I probably like 8 to 12 cities came in, and all of them were just like, how did you do this? Our downtown doesn't look like this. Our innovation is not going at this speed. So it's really remarkable to kind of get those feedback as well.
Well, and really the only way you can do that is if you have collaboration, or at least leaders who are thinking of going in the same direction, because it'd be easy to say, well, that'd be great for the city, but I don't think this is the right spot. Or I think, and you could fight forever about the details of how to make this city grow and improve. That obviously has not been happening because we're just seeing so many great things happen in so many different areas, industries, and arenas.
Yeah, no, and I think obviously the mayor was a big part. Mayor Duggan was a big part of that. Was being able to be that ringleader and bring people together on partnerships that weren't happening previously. But I'd say we still, as a state, have somewhat of a scarcity model that we get worried if like Detroit gets something, Grand Rapids won't get a thing, right? Versus saying like, how do we grow the pie bigger? How do we start to build these partnerships, and how do we build trust so that we're all figuring out like how we grow, right? And I think that's a thing that we have not really talked about, in the city and the state, right? Is like, how do we actually start to get on these growth trajectories where we're more jobs, more population, higher paying jobs that you see in other places in the country, whether like Columbus or Austin or Seattle.
And we don't really need to have a Detroit versus Grand Rapids conversation, feud, if you will. We really need to say, hey, let's get together and go beat Ohio and Indiana and Illinois.
100%, right? And I think that's you're starting to see that, and I think it's, started in the city, seeing a lot in the region. The Chamber's done a really great job of a leadership position with the University of Michigan to say, how do we start to all work together on this, economic development and growing with all the universities and all the innovation districts that are happening here in the city. But yeah, I mean, there's so many great resources in the state. And, if you're a snowmobile testing, you could build stuff here in Detroit and then go up, 4 hours north and, find the best places in the country to go test your snowmobile. So just putting all those pieces together.
Yeah, you mentioned Ann Arbor. That's also a top destination in the country for people to go to. We should be able to attach to that here in Metro Detroit, and even as far as Grand Rapids or Saginaw, that should be a regional jewel.
No, 100%. I mean, I moved here in 2016 from Chicago, and at that point, I felt like conversations when I was in the mayor's office working in Ann Arbor was like it's a separate bubble. But you look at Palo Alto and San Francisco, you look at Boulder and Denver, they're the same distance that Ann Arbor and Detroit are from. But you take a national perception, Ann Arbor and Detroit aren't seen as that same way as like Silicon Valley and San Francisco. So that's the thing that, a lot more work to do, but you're starting to see, the university leaning a lot more in, cities working both together, sort of all this collaboration of like, how do we all win and grow the pie bigger?
Yeah, I remember when Amazon a few years back was trying to pick a world headquarters. There was this big competition, whatever that was.
That was a month of my life I wish I could have back. Yes.
Yeah, whatever that was, right? Exactly. But it gave us an opportunity to learn a little bit about ourselves, infrastructure, different policies, what attracts large businesses or not. Do you feel like since that time or in the past few years, we're moving to resolve some of the hurdles that stand in the way?
1,000,000%, right? And I think that was the great outcome from that, was like just getting people talking of like, if we want to win the big thing, like we all have to work together. When I started the mayor's office 16, I don't think Macomb County would have ever had a conversation with us of like, what's the value of Detroit to Macomb County? But we're working really closely at Michigan Central with their economic development groups on how does the innovation at Michigan Central support, their defense industry assets up in Macomb County, right? And like, how do we sort of win each other, right? Of like, here's what we're facing, and here's what you can add, versus all of us just saying like, we're all going to go after this one thing. And a lot of it's just relationships and getting to know each other and building trust and working together, which just clearly wasn't happening up until, the last 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. And the fruits of that work are showing up time and time again. So what's next for Michigan Central?
So yeah, I mean, it's really, if you haven't been down there, there's lots of different things to see. We're wrapping up race days. So Ford Racing is basically taking over the station with all their different racing vehicles, including their partnership with Red Bull. It's an amazing setup, and the number of partners, Boys and Girls Club, Michigan Science Center, doing all these activities. So it's been a really fun month just for people in the station. The activity at New Lab, they have over 200 members of startups, these high growth companies just doing all these cool things from, building telescopes to these heat sensors to, robot arms, just all the future, right? Just seeing it happen. I think the big piece that we're really focusing on this year is, how do we link these exciting companies and these exciting researchers with all the industry that's around here, right? So much innovation gets done in the automobile industry and manufacturing within those walls, right? But you've got all these smart people thinking of all these ideas, like how do we start to share them with industry and be able to help them grow with commercial customers and be able to like work with them, but putting all these pieces together. So that's really when Bill Ford started this, like that's what he saw the power of Michigan Central, right? It's this place where collisions are happening and people are coming together to build the future. It's not a Ford thing. It's this place where everybody's working together.
Mark DeLaverne, head of network growth, Michigan Central on site. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
Really appreciate you being here.
No.
All right, quick break. It's All Talk. I'm Kevin Dietz.
Appreciate it.
Hi friends, Bill Golling here from Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and during our Start Something New sales event, every Ram truck comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. This January, Chrysler employees with lease loyalty can lease a 2025 Ram 1500 Big Car Crew Cab 4x4 for just $299 a month. Leases for 39 months, 10,000 miles a year with $2,000 down, plus tax title plates and dock car extra. So come see us. That's Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, Roseville, or our newest location on Mac in Detroit, or always at Golling.com.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Italian subs for your finance team in Chicago. Easy Cater. Burritos for your call center crew in Plano. Easy Cater. Bagels for your sales reps meeting clients in Charlotte. Easy Cater. Hot chicken sandwiches for your third shift warehouse workers in Memphis. Easy Cater. Your teams may be spread out across the country, but you've got one platform to feed them all, whenever and wherever they work, with food they love from favorite restaurants. Easy Cater. Food for the workplace, all in one place. Order now at easycater.com.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Your morning is busy, so we'll keep it brief. Upgrade your routine with WJR's 5 Things First Thing. JR Morning with Chris, Lloyd, and Jamie break down the top 5 stories in just 5 minutes. Delivered straight to your device. Start your day by hitting play. Subscribe today on the always free WJR app.
Fox News, I'm Therese Crowley. Border Czar Tom Homan says they've made a lot of progress working with the locals in Minnesota, and that State Attorney General Keith Ellison agreed.
He has clarified for me that county jails may notify ICE of the release dates of criminal public safety risks so ICE can take custody of them.
A big deal for safety. Homan suggests anti-ICE protesters take it to Congress. The once moderate Democrat Senator Amy Klobuchar announces she's running for governor to fix what's wrong.
3,000 ICE agents on our streets and in our towns, sent by an administration that relishes division.
But the New York Times reports President Trump made a deal with the Senate Democrat leader Chuck Schumer to avert a government shutdown tomorrow over Homeland Security funding. He's convening his cabinet this morning. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by King's Hawaiian Sliders. Nothing brings friends and family together on game day like delicious King's Hawaiian Sliders. Bring them to the big game table and be the real MVP. Pick some up this weekend in the bakery or deli section of your local store. Football and King's Irresistible Hawaiian Sliders. There's nothing like it.
Southbound 75 at Sashabaw, we have a crash taking up the 2 left lanes. Traffic slow from Ortonville Road. Northbound Van Dyke between Martin and 12 Mile. Right lane closed there today and tomorrow for construction until 3 p.m. Westbound 24 Mile between Jewel and Van Dyke. That remains completely closed till tomorrow afternoon. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Partly cloudy, cold today, a high of 16. Right now, it's 17. Bitterly cold temps tonight with a low of -1. Mix of clouds and sunshine tomorrow with a high of 15. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
Welcome to the Douro River, Portugal's hidden gem, where every bend reveals a new postcard perfect view. Hi, this is Kevin Dietz, inviting you to join me next summer. We'll cruise through the heart of the Douro Valley, a UNESCO World Heritage Site known for its terraced vineyards, historic villages, and golden sunsets. Savor world-class wines where port was born, sample Portuguese cuisine, and unwind aboard a river cruise designed for discovery and relaxation. From the vibrant streets of Porto to the quiet charm of Pazo de Rego, every stop tells a story rich in culture, flavor, and tradition. Our trip includes premium hotel accommodations, 7 nights on board Emerald Cruises, gratuities, and much more. A Douro River cruise isn't just a journey, it's a taste of Portugal's soul. Ready to set sail? Visit WJRTravelClub.com now to learn more or reserve your cabin, or call Cruise and Tour at 800-383-3133. The
CJ Pearson Show.
Every week, we'll take on the biggest cultural, political, and moral battles in America head on.
CJ presents the most passionate voices in the Black community.
When you're going around and talking to people in actual communities, you get to know what people actually care about.
As a Black man, why can't I be the first one in my family to graduate from college? Why can't it be me? Shift the way that I think about the world.
Full truth, real conviction, zero permission. This is the CJ Pearson Show.
The CJ Pearson Show. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
More than just a radio show, it's an entertaining daily look at the heart of the community.
I'm Mitch Albom.
And I'm Ken Brown.
And our show, The Mitch Albom Show, is one that makes you laugh and think and feel at home after a long day at work.
The Mitch Albom Show, making a difference in your life.
So if the guy in the car next to you is laughing, they're listening to The Mitch Albom Show.
4 till 6 p.m. on 760 WJR. You're listening to All Talk on WJR. It's the Detroit Regional Chamber's Detroit Policy Conference. Once again from the department at the new Hudson's Tower. Here's Kevin Dietz.
Boy, what a good turnout today. A lot of people buzzing. We've had so many good panels and so many good speakers, and really just a great attitude. I don't know if it's just that after Christmas and you see all these people, and then all of a sudden you go into this cold, dark January that everybody just is huddled in their homes and they don't see anyone, but everyone has popped out for the conference and everybody has smiles on their faces, happy to see each other and get Michigan moving forward. Something we don't talk a ton about is philanthropy. We should probably talk more about it. It plays a quiet but really powerful role in shaping outcomes. The Skillman Foundation has long invested in Detroit's children and in Detroit's neighborhoods, and those investments guide long-term change. Equity and opportunity remain central pillars that shape our community. And joining us now is Sarita Scott, Vice President of Programs at Skillman Foundation. How are you?
I am well, Kevin. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Do you feel that what I'm trying to describe? Everybody's sort of like happy to see each other, and it's...
I think this is the first kind of gathering of the year, and you're right. There is a lot of energy, a lot of excitement.
Yeah, there really is. So tell us a little bit about the Skillman Foundation and what the goal is.
So Skillman supports community-driven education transformation, and we really focus on those actors who are most impacted by the education system and making sure that they are a part of the solutions. So that's youth, educators, the community. They should really be a part of driving the solutions to improve our education system.
So you're getting an opportunity to really see what's out there and what's really working. Give us some examples of some of the success stories.
Oh, wow. Some of the success stories. So right now, there's so much happening to improve, connections and relationships, but we're also focused a lot on policy. You can look at things like the work that 482 is doing in organizing not just youth, but parents, making sure that they have a voice. You can look at the work that Ed Trust is doing, or the Michigan League for Public Policy, really lifting up some of the challenges and making sure that we have the data to know what's really happening with youth and families. So there's just a lot of work happening across the state.
Yeah, you bring up a really good point because philanthropy really does complement policy. It really can help set the direction, I think.
Well, part of what we want to do, we want to connect people to policy. That's the way we think of this current strategy, people-powered education. And I feel like philanthropy should show up as being the connector, the convener. I like to say that's one of our superpowers. We can bring people together. And in this particular moment, we need to be bringing people together from all areas, recognizing that education is not the one issue, but certainly one of the top issues where we need everyone to be a part of the solution. We need everyone to be involved.
Yeah, you get the sense in the world today that everybody is in their corners and fighting and not willing to move an inch. You come to a policy conference like this and you talk to people, and it doesn't matter what their politics are. Everyone here is excited about this country being better, this state being better, this city being better. And you start to realize these differences aren't that far apart. We really are all looking for the same things. And how do we get there?
Well, I think that's part of it. You have to focus on the things that we do agree about. And so we like to say, our North Star is an excellent, equitable education for every student. I always say, how could anyone not support that? We can be agnostic about how to get there. We can agree that some things all make sense, but I think that's part of it, is really trying to identify the things that, as you said, that we all want for our families, that we all want for the rest of the state, and working towards that.
Yeah, I have 3 kids, and the top priority was education. What are we going to do? How are we going to educate these people, make them productive members of society,
Exactly.
and move out of my house one day? And I think that's universal. And I think that education and what our children are, how are they going to learn, and where are they going to learn? I think it's crucial. And we're talking about growing the state. I think if we could become leaders in education, I think we would go a long way towards solving that problem.
Oh, I totally agree with you. And one of the things we always want to emphasize, for so many years, we just felt that the education issue was an issue, of Detroit or Flint or Pontiac. But we know now that it is an issue across the entire state. It's a statewide issue. It is something that impacts us all. I'm excited to be here at the policy conference because, again, we want to just the opportunity to connect with business leaders and to remind them of just how important education is to their work and to what they're trying to accomplish in the state.
We love to break down stereotypes because it's important. And there's a stereotype out there that schools aren't really open to other ideas. They like to do things the way they do them. It's like, this is my little world, and we know the people and we know what we're doing, and they might not be open to ideas, but we are seeing a lot of different opportunities where success is being achieved. And I wonder, you may know more than I do, if we have more of an openness now, because we've been discussing on all sides of the aisle about Michigan has got to do something about our education crisis. And I wonder if people are opening up to the idea of saying, look, together, we can raise the boat.
I think we are beginning to feel now that we can't just pick. Well, first, we know there's not going to be a silver bullet.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now you're right. We are more open to what is the type of education that supports individual students. And so we know that there's public education, there's private education, there's homeschooling, there's charter schools, there's DPS-CD. We're not saying, that there should be any one or the other. We're saying that every school should be excellent. Every school should have what they need. Every school should support the children that are attending. And I hope we're moving towards that as well, that it's not that we're trying to fit everyone into one particular format, but that we're recognizing that schools also have to meet the needs of the youth.
I'd like to think also that where kids have fallen behind, the people of Michigan are willing to help out and tutor and help somebody with math or reading. And I just feel like there needs to be better connectivity so the people who are willing to help can be with the people who need the help.
No, that's such a great point. And I think we're beginning to realize that, again, having some students not going to be good for everyone. We need all students to succeed. And so it is important that we all feel that it is a part of our responsibility and finding out where we can do that help. I think that's also a part of us being here, and it's a part of what we talk about in bridging and the collaboration that's needed. Everyone has a role that they can play in education. You can find, so if it is that you want to support in this way, if you want to volunteer, if you want to connect students to businesses or internships or all of that, it's all important and necessary. And we want everyone to feel like they can find their role within the sector and within this need of education.
Yeah, it's not a competition between each other in school districts in Michigan. It's a competition for all of us to rise up as high as we can. And sometimes we just don't see that. Sarita Scott, Vice President of Programs at the Skillman Foundation. Thanks for the work the Skillman Foundation does. Thanks for the work you do. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, Kevin.
All right, great conversation. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. It's All Talk. I'm Kevin Dietz.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. If you're over 55 and with one of the big three carriers, like Verizon, you may notice they don't talk much about their 55 plus discounts. That's so customers like you keep paying their regular higher rates to boost their bottom line. You deserve better service with 100% US-based experts, better value with plans starting at $20, and a company that's built for people 50 plus, like me. Not convinced? Give your current carrier a call. Ask about the 55 plus plan you've earned. See how long it takes to get a real person on the line, and if they try to talk you out of it. But if you want something better, call Consumer Cellular. We've got the same great coverage, and our US-based experts can get you switched in about 20 minutes. Switch now to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com for your second month free.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Ad paid for by Anthem Tax Services. Attention! If you or your business is behind in filing your tax returns, or if you owe over $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS, please listen carefully. The IRS does not joke around and will not stop their collection efforts. If you're tired of the IRS letters, levies, liens, or wage garnishments and would like to get a fresh start, we can help. Due to the financial hardships in the country, the IRS is making it easier than ever to settle tax problems for those who owe more than $10,000. We can help settle your delinquent tax problems, end all collections, and may even reduce your back taxes significantly. Even if you can't afford to pay your back taxes, you can still get the help you need. We've helped thousands of taxpayers just like you, but you must call 800-245-7095 today to stop your tax problem from getting worse. The information is free and the help is real. Call 800-245-7095. That's 800-245-7095. Again, 800-245-7095.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
Hold on. Keep going.
Michigan and Michigan. I'm Kevin Dietz. Coming up on All Talk, Michigan and Michigan State are having incredible basketball seasons, and now they'll face off against each other. Both teams are top ranked and looking to win a Big Ten championship and make a deep run in championship tournament. We will preview the game. Plus, Borders are Tom Holman has a new plan for Minnesota. Will it bring peace on the streets? All Talk is 9 to noon, and you can stream us anytime at WJR.com.
Affairs and the Ad Council.
WJR traffic and weather first.
This report is sponsored by King's Hawaiian Sliders. Nothing brings friends and family together on game day like delicious King's Hawaiian Sliders. Bring them to the big table and be the real MVP. Pick some up this weekend in the bakery or deli section of your local store. Football and King's irresistible Hawaiian Sliders. There's nothing like it.
Southbound 75 slow right now between Ortonville Road and Sashabaw. That's due to an earlier accident. Northbound Van Dyke between Martin and 12 Mile. Right lane is closed there today and tomorrow, 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. And westbound 24 Mile between Jewel and Van Dyke remains closed for construction till tomorrow afternoon. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
Cold stays, and we'll see a little more cloud come in as the day progresses today, and we hover around 15 degrees after another bitter cold start. Single digits below zero tonight. Single digits below zero tomorrow night. Daytime highs. We'll get up into the low to mid-teens as we head on through Friday and Saturday. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
It's All Talk on a Thursday morning. We are live from the Detroit Policy Conference inside the beautiful department at Hudson's in downtown Detroit. You can learn more by going to chamber.com/DPC. Boy, I tell you, a few projects symbolize Michigan's future more than the Gordie Howe Bridge. From the Fisher Building and WJR Studios, we have been watching this thing go up from the very beginning, and it is opening this year. It's about trade, it's about jobs, it's about connectivity. It reshapes cross-border commerce. Infrastructure moments like this are rare. We've been talking for a long time about this happening. It's becoming a reality. And joining us now is Mike Griffey, Detroit Metro leader for AECOM. Good morning. How are you?
Good, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
Man, I appreciate you being here. You've got to be excited. Just watching that thing, just looking at that bridge. It's, you think about Michigan and you think of the Mackinac Bridge and the Ambassador Bridge and now the Gordie Howe Bridge. It's just, I don't know. It's something special about it.
Absolutely. I mean, you're looking at what will be the longest cable-stayed bridge in North America that'll be opening up this year. And I think it's going to do a lot for both Canada and the United States. The amount of community that will be coming together for a bridge like this is really something that we haven't seen. We haven't seen before.
No, this is going to be really beneficial for both countries, and it's a great opportunity to celebrate. It's the country's 250th birthday, ours, not theirs. And it's really cool, and it is going to be a lot of fun, but it should be because it should be a celebration because it's a really big project. It's been a long time in the making.
Yeah, I mean, so AECOM serves as the lead design and the lead engineer of both the bridge span, both the Canadian and U.S. international ports of entry, and the I-75 interchange that connects our freeway, our interstate, to the bridge itself. And over the course of the last 10 years, we had over 10,000 man-hours that was done from architects and engineers from around the world to put this together.
That's incredible. What's unique about the Gordie Howe Bridge?
Well, like you said, it'll be the largest cable-stayed bridge in North America. And the cables that you see, those beautiful pylons,
gorgeous.
I mean, that is going to represent a symbol of Detroit and a symbol of Canada and the United States coming together. As you see, our designer out of London, our lead architect on the project, had the pylons to represent the twin hockey sticks that was Gordie Howe in his signature pose. So you're going to see a lot of elements of Detroit, of Gordie Howe himself, and the real representation of the connection between the United States and Canada.
It's so cool. When you talk about building a bridge like that, how does it work? Start on each end, move to the middle?
Actually, yes. We had there's a Canadian AECOM side and a U.S. Side, and the engineers worked in tandem until the bridge actually connected. Once the bridge connected last year, it became an international border crossing, which creates a lot more regulation between the two countries. But yeah, our engineers worked on the Canadian side and the U.S. side and met in the middle.
What different technology or what different things go into a bridge that's built today than one that was built 50 years ago?
Well, you got to look at the materials are, one, much more sustainable. The amount of materials that we use that will last much longer is good for our environment that you just don't see in older generation bridges. But one of the other things I think is very important is this bridge is multimodal. So you'll be able to not just cross the bridge in your car or truck, but you can also walk across the bridge now and cycle across the bridge, which is something that Detroiters, we haven't been able to do. But make sure you bring your passport, though.
Yeah, and hopefully the light bulbs last longer because it's tough to change a light bulb on a bridge.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, we'll be providing maintenance and operations of this bridge for the next 30 years. So any light bulb that goes out, we'll be responsible for making sure it comes back up.
Absolutely. When they came to you guys, what did they say the needs were? What was important?
Well, one, being able to have truck traffic. Canada's paying for this bridge, and it'll be paid back through tolls from the Canadian to the U.S. side. But one of the things is being able to get the truck traffic to get to their interstate more seamlessly without having to cut through downtown, which we'll be able to do that now. And then one of the other things was really being able to allow people to get across the bridge faster. We see the truck traffic that we see across Ambassador Bridge now. And I think you're going to see a much more smoother crossing with the huge international e-commerce that takes place. across the bridge between Windsor and Detroit.
Yeah, anyone who works in the area or drives in the area, they're familiar with the backup of trucks waiting to get across the Ambassador Bridge. To add some relief to that, it's going to be really important to trade and to the companies that rely on this stuff. Tell me a little bit more about walking and biking across. Well, how long is the span?
Yeah, the span touches about 1.2 miles, and you'll be able to, you'll have to go to customs. There will be a customs at the border purely for biking and for walking. So you're not going to have to stand in line behind a car if you're going to be biking across. And just make sure that as you look at the amount of time that you'll have, to be able to take some time to be able to make that crossing is going to be very important.
Yeah, have you been out there yet?
Yeah, I've actually done some tours. Had some folks, had some public officials come over to the bridge before the bridge span was connected. We went on top of the pylon, 700 feet. You know, you're looking down at the Renaissance Center. And
It gets a little windy up there, doesn't it?
It's a little windy. It's a little scary, but you know, going up there in open air, you can climb that elevator and you really see, I mean, just a magnificent view of the city. It's one of those things I'll never forget.
Yeah, I did that once at the Mackinac Bridge, and when people probably don't realize there's an elevator in there. You take the elevator, but not all the way up.
Right.
You still got to climb. You got to climb that last little bit to get up there and outside. And it's not super narrow, but it's not super wide either.
Oh, I tell you what,
it makes you think.
If you're afraid of heights, that's probably not the thing. That's not the tour you want to take.
What is that view like? Not only just from up there, but the people who will actually be walking across. What will that view be like for people?
Yeah, I mean, the sight lines, part of the architecture and the way the cable stayed has been designed, it's going to create panoramic views from Belle Isle all the way to the south. When you're looking at Grosse Ile, and the sight lines will be absolutely magnificent. And that's one of the reasons that the color of the bridge cables are what they are, so that people that are walking across and driving across will have these magnificent views as they cross the border.
I know the Mackinac Bridge, they have to constantly repaint it, and they're working on that. What's the situation with this bridge?
Yeah, so this is the paint that's used for that. It has a durable layer to it that you won't see need to be redone very often. There will be operational maintenance that will happen over the next 30 years, but this type of cabling is much different than what we see in the Mighty Mac.
So did this start on like a cocktail napkin drawing out this bridge?
I'll tell you what, Kevin, there's folks way smarter than me that led the design for such a thing. You know, when we think about this type of construction, you know, our lead engineers on the project, I mean, these are people that specialize in cable-stayed bridges around the world. So the next place they'll be, who knows? They'll be in Japan or wherever.
Yeah.
And you know, these people have high level of expertise.
We have something very, very special here, and it's going to open real soon. Mike Griffey, Detroit Metro leader at AECOM, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Kevin.
Enjoy the conference. That's going to do it for All Talk, but stay with us because Focus is next. Jeff Caponegro is in for Paul W. Smith, so stay with us on WJR.
You know, I was doing a podcast with Chris Alberta from Principia talking about planning for retirement, and boy, did he bring home a great point. When you talk to guys like me that are on the cusp of retirement,